my profane friends. How are you? Having a great day, I hope. Now, here we go. You see this picture here? Can anyone see the Masonic symbolism? Obviously, we've got old Savile there. That's why he's in the picture. Masonic brother Savile. Can anyone see the symbolism? Right, I'll show you what the symbolism is, okay? Well, obviously you can see this one. This was the age of the train, look. You see, cheap away, day return. This is why Savile's in the train, see? You know the symbolism of that one anyway, don't you? Above his head, look, the square and calm piss. But what we want to know is can you see the symbolism here? Yeah? And I'm going to show you exactly what that is, okay? Oh, shit, this is what's going to happen to Britain. And you don't realise it. This is what the Freemasons have in store for Britain. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's another story. So, this is the symbolism. Can you see it? Yeah? You know what I mean? The 3 cubes. And what do 3 cubes mean? 6, 6, 6. It's 2, 3, 2, 3 times, yeah? You know that because I've shown you that and I've taught you that. You know what I mean? So let me go again, look. So even though the NatWest is like this, that is that. 3 cubes, okay? Okay, 3 cubes, all right? Let me keep going on. See, 3 cubes, yeah? The NatWest group. There's the bank. It's 3 cubes, right? Now I'm going to come out of here because I'm not that good at... I'm just going to go up here a little bit just to show you something. And remember, on my own Masonic police station, right? There's 232. No, I've gone the wrong way. There's the Masonic cubes on the 232, yeah? Those who know my 232, that's on the police station at 3 cubes, okay? And that's what the NatWest is, yeah? 6, 6, 6. Because 2, 3, 2, 3 times is 6, 6, 6. It makes a square and compass 3 times. It's also with the Masonic cube in the middle. It gives you the 33-degree Freemasonry. Okay, and also it's the 7 steps. Each one is the 7 steps in Masonry, yeah? So it's 2 steps in Masonry, 3 steps in Masonry, 5 steps in Masonry, subtotal 7 steps in Masonry, which equals G, what puts the G in the square and calm piss, okay? Obviously, remember every police station is 232. And 323, which makes the Masonic cube, and there's your square and compass, and the Masonic cube with the G in the middle on your police station. Okay, right, so we've done that. So that's what NatWest Bank is. Okay, so I'm on about NatWest Bank today. All right, and I'm going to show you all banks are run by the Masonic. So if you've had a business and you've gone for a loan, that's more than likely been turned down because Freemasonry don't want you to be successful. If you've gone in there with a business plan, yeah, and that's a real good one, yeah, and I know this has happened to people, yeah, that business idea has then been given to someone else across the world. They've done that idea, yeah, and then before you know it, boom, that company's gone successful because it's a Masonic Freemason company. You see what I mean? And that's all they've done is stolen the idea from that profane person rather than invest in it, yeah? Now, remember, when a bank forecloses on a loan and they steal your farm, your house, your car, or whatever they take, yeah? That's Freemasonry manipulation, yeah? Because they might want your stuff in some way, yeah, on a vendetta or anything, yeah. But again, all these banks are working in cahoots with Freemasonry, and this is how they get you in life when you're a perjured individual, yeah. So there's Jimmy Savile clearly with the symbolism in the background. Not once, but twice. Look, okay. Let's remember, brother Jimmy Savile was a pure Masonic Freemason. That's why he got away with it for 50 years. The shush up. Shh, including the BBC. Anyway, so there's your 3 Masonic cubes of NatWest. Now, I'm going to show you Masonic cubes. I hope you can see this, and I ain't rattling on for nothing. Here we go. Look, this is another one. This is how the banks rip you off, okay? And like I said, now I'm learning you this. I'm shaking the phone about it, and I think, oh, I better keep it steady, but obviously you can see it anyway. But so here we go. Now this guy here, he's sent a letter to the they have to reply to this. I don't know if I got the reply, but anyway, cuckooing, right? Crime in Bournemouth, okay? Cuckooing crime is not limited to taking over someone's property to sell drugs, okay? Now remember, always have an open mind, and let's try not to think about Freemasonry too much, okay? Right, it also includes financially abusing the owner. Okay, my mother is unable to pay bills, right, or withdraw cash because her financial affairs have been stolen, including means to make payments such as her checkbook. The person responsible, a family member, fails to respond to calls to return that which he has taken because he works for, or rather is coerced by, a cuckooing gang who instruct his moves, right? Members of the gang seem to have contracts with the police, right? Contacts with the police. I wonder who that would be. Which may explain the force's reluctance to investigate. Do you see what I mean? Are we getting the common denominator here in all things, okay? Banks, police, never investigate anything because there's Freemasonry brothers behind the system, yeah? Anyway, I forgot where I was there. I was so excited I crushed a grape. Cuckooing gang instructed his moves. Members of the gang seem to have contacts with the police, which may explain the force's reluctance to investigate. The force seems more occupied with redirecting this affair than with investigating it, and that's what they do. They try and redirect it. They stall. They delay. Do you know what I mean? Putting up, and I've shown that in multiple videos, yeah, so I don't need to go, and I'll leave a link to another part of my forum that I forgot to put in the other day, and I'll put it in with this video, but go to that link and I'll show you how the police are manipulators of the Masonic order, right, which leads to the stock racist response of blaming us, which is what they do. They blame our fault. It's your fault, or this fault, or that fault, and then you get the blame game. A bit like JFK. Everyone's to blame, apart the Freemasons that are all involved in it all and have Masonic lodges in it all. Anyway, blaming us. It's the ethnic minority. Or the ethnic minority. In fact, corrupt police officers, Freemasons, and professional criminals drive this affair. And now that's not what I'll put. This is someone else. Do you see what I mean? But because I'm now only mentioning it to you, do you see what I mean? You know about it. But if you put that together with everything else I've put on my wall, in my Facebook, in my forum, do you know what I mean? There's loads and hundreds and thousands and millions, right? And I won't be surprised if there's billions of cases over the years, yeah, where these Freemasons, like I said, are working about, and people don't even know about them working in the background. Do you know what I mean? To take their property, their items, and their, all their wealth. Do you know what I mean? As if the Freemasons ain't got enough anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I could show you, plenty of books what the numbers they're dealing with. Yeah, which I will do. You can go see some of my videos, or I've already done some anyway, but I'll do more, right? Freemasons and professional criminals drive this affair. Police were advised of difficulties in 2021. Since then, periodic communications highlighted crime developments have been offered. The force fails to intervene, yeah? What remains of my mother's financial affairs is her pension, which is paid to the NatWest Bank, but the bank won't allow her access to her money, won't issue her a new checkbook, and won't accept written instructions. Various excuses are offered, and that's what they do. You see what I mean? They give you excuses, any time delay. Oh, the letter got lost, this, that, and the other. Oh, our computer's crashed. You've done it all on the phone to different departments. Whatever department, they give you the excuse, the same shit, and they give you the runaround. Everyone gets the runaround if you're profane. If you're a Freemason, bang, it's done. Anyway, access to her, it won't set written instructions. Various excuses are offered, all of which contrive to justify blocking the account. Bill demands mount up, threats escalate, and NatWest misdirects us like they misdirect everyone in life, the Freemasons, yeah? Because that's what they do. They misdirect you all the time. They get you looking at things like chemtrails and the moon and the flat earth, rather than looking at the criminality within your own towns, the injustices that goes on within your towns. Do you know what I mean? So long as you're looking everywhere else apart from your own communities, Freemasons are happy because you're divided. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's another story, my profane friends. Have a great day. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. I'm still going. I thought I was getting so excited. Right. Threat said, and then NatWest misdirections. NatWest executive team became involved, but made the situation worse. Right. Again, This is what they do. They put a committee together. They pretend they're coming in to help you, but they make the situation worse. Same as like if you're, those who work with social services, yeah, they'll go, oh, we'll get an impartial group in called CAFCAS. So you think they're an impartial group working on your side. They're in the middle, pretending they're on your side or no one's side, should I say? But actually, they're on the social services side, and they're gonna side with the social services anyway. But that gives them a chance to stall you, delay you, so you don't get any charges up against the social services for lying or doing corruption against you. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're there for. Same as the IPCC in police. Yeah, they go complain to them. Why are you complaining to the IPCC? They're doing nothing because they're all Freemasons working for the brothers that are within the police force. Do you see what I mean? Everything that you complain to, the Freemasons run it, and they make sure every investigation goes in their favour. Yeah, always, regardless of what it is. And I'm going to prove that at the end as well. Okay, this talk, I've left 2 pages, right, where they squash investigations. Well, I could show you all day. I suppose you know your own anyway. You know what they're like, these Freemasons. Tricky, just tricky like a Savile. Tricky as Savile. Tricky. Anyway, NatWest's team made it worse. Given the magnitude of the cockcoing gangs operating, which were Masons, in Bournemouth, I question whether NatWest is part of it. I seek also a claim against NatWest for interest charges accumulated on outstanding bills, but despite the bank admitting failure, it refuses to receive such a claim. According to policy, may I turn to the state for assistance? Copy of the policy document would suffice. Yours faithfully, Dominic B. Yeah. So again, this is what I'm saying, that they don't need to answer you because they've got all the millions and billions of pounds. You're just a nothing with no. But what do you own? A house, a car, and they know you can't take them to court because they've got all the money. They've got the backing of the Freemasonry. You know what I mean? Now, here's another one. Look, Robert Morrow, former executive at the NatWest Bank. Yeah, this is the Guardian. Masons in turmoil as sacking at Top Shock secret brotherhood. See what I mean? Now this is another bank. Do you know what I mean? This is what they do. You know what I mean? The NatWest, again, criminalised by Freemasons. They own the NatWest Bank anyway. I'm going to show you other banks they own as well. Look, Masons in turmoil as sacking at Top Shock secret brotherhood. Members furious at being kept in dark over unprecedented dismissal. It is the ultimate secret society, a fraternal organisation of influential men who attract almost as many conspiracy theorists as members. But the brotherly bonds and code of silence, shh, that links 800,000 Freemasons are under strain after unprecedented dismissal of the chief. I don't know what I've done there, but the brotherly bond. Yeah, I don't photograph everything. I'm just getting the highlights. Okay, my profane friends. But the brotherly bonds and the code of silence that link 800. The strain under prison. Oh yeah, I did do it anyway. Right, the peak body for 10,000 Masonic lodges was plunged into crisis after Robert Morrow, a former executive at NatWest Bank, was hauled in front of a disciplinary hearing a day before the lodge's annual ceremony in London, attended by the Duke of Kent, what a surprise, the Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. Ordinary members only realised Mr. Morrow had not been reappointed to his 100,000 plus post when he failed to appear at the annual investiture ceremony at the historic Freemason Hall, the Masonic headquarters in Covent Garden. Nor was he present in the lavish post-ceremony dinner in the nearby New Connor Rooms. It is a bit like going to Tesco's AGM and finding Sir Terry Lear is not there, said one disgruntled Mason. My profane friends. Right. Right. And I'm forgetting, I don't need to read you this because you can read this yourselves, can't you? So I'll just leave it there. You read it yourself and I'll try and spiel and you can turn my voice off or carry on. You know what I mean? So you look, since Freemasons combined lodges in London in 1717. So remember, they were well around fiddling with the planet well before 1717. But since before then, they were always warring. You know what I mean? Little tricky buggers. Tricky Savile buggers. See, look, Queen Victoria's son, Albert Edward, the Prince of Wales, was a Masonic Grand Master. See, they're only kings, queens, dukes, earls, lords, and the Freemasons are the little lackeys in every town and city looking after the best interests of the royalty. Do you know what I mean? Winston Churchill, look, Peter Semin, Yulia Kippard, you know what I mean? This is why these people are famous, or they'd be nowhere. If it wasn't for Freemasonry helping them, they would be nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Right, you can always pause it anyway, so I'll just go through this bit. This just shows you, you know, the corruption of the Freemasons. No bounds. One Mason who preferred to remain anonymous, of course he would, because he'd be corporal punished within the army. I love that. Look, one Mason that called for proper dismissal. Oh, what happened now? I don't know what I did there. Oh yeah, we pay enormous. Listen, we pay enormous amounts of subscription fees, right, to these people, yet we are not considered to be worthy of knowing what is going on. Do you know what I mean? All Masonic rumours are inherently true, especially those with no basis whatsoever. In fact, there are many stories going around that I would rather not comment on any. Do you see what I mean? This is the thing. And once you start putting two and two together, you find out what the Masons are really about in your town and city. You ain't got to go worldwide looking for Epsteins and all that. They're in your back door, right in your town city. Believe it. You know what I mean? Just leave it there. You can pause it anyway if you want to read it. Do you know what I mean? It's no good me keep reading. Look at this. Look. But if you are able to, then there are 3 good reasons to support us today. Support you, yeah, peasants. Now, again, look, here's a book on Amazon, yeah? Well worth a read. It's only £4, you know what I mean? Bugger all that. Masonic corruption in banking destroyed my business and changed my life. You see? Now, this is another, this is another vomit, yeah? A victim of Masonic ill treatment, you know what I mean? Masonic corruption in banking destroyed my business and changed my life. And that's what I'm saying. They've done that to many, many, many thousands of people. But we stand alone against the banks. We stand alone against the police corruption. We stand alone against the injustices in our courts. Do you know what I mean? Look across, just search your Facebook, you know what I mean? And just put in like social service corruption, yeah? And see the people that are fucking being screwed over by this system of Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? Put in police corruption. See the people that are being screwed over by Masonic police people in the force. Do you know what I mean? Because they're all working together and they're all trying to keep shush. Do you know what I mean? And it all works on blackmail. Do you know what I mean? Right. And this is the book description here, by the way. A lot has been written in recent years about corrupt Freemason in Britain. My father was a Mason, but I never joined. In this book, I tell my life story and how Masonic corruption destroyed my business and changed my life. I did go to a very good and sought after British public school, and at the age of 16 decided that I wanted to career in the furniture trade. On leaving school, I took a full-time training. Anyway, you can read that. So there you go. But get the book. I bought it. I'm bloody right I bought it. I'm going to have a bloody good read. You know what I mean? My profane friends. Right. Oh, what happened there? Oh. Yeah, I thought I'd had to screenshot it in 2 and I actually screenshotted it in 1. But again, as we know, look, here we go, look. My situation with NatWest got so impossible that I eventually had to close my business with a substantial order book, most of which was for export. NatWest, through their solicitors, which were Freemason, then used Masonic connections in the courts, which were Freemasons, to cover up what they had done. Do you see what I mean? And this is what they do with it, you know, and you don't stand a chance going up against these people because you're not going up against Mr. Joe Bloggs or the NatWest Banks. You're going up against the Freemasons. That they're the perfect shush up crew, yeah. And when you're going up against these people, you're on your own. You're isolated. Do you know what I mean? You've got no one. You can put a charge against someone, they ain't going to do nothing because they're not going to investigate their little noncy brothers. Do you know why? Because it's all on blackmail. Because the noncy little brothers go, oh, I'm shitting myself. If I go to jail, I'm going to do this and I'm going to say that. So they don't. They get him off as much as they can. Do you know what I mean? That's why they killed Epstein. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's another story, my profane friends. Now, here's a Barclays Bank. Look, Barclays Bank and the Masonic Lodge. Yeah? Okay, I'll just leave that there. Oh, sorry. Like I said, I'm not a professional at this. Remember that, my profane friends. I'll leave that there. Again, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Kent. You know what I mean? With support, and this is the important thing, look at that army, look, in a ceremony supported by 2,000 Freemasons in full army uniform. You see what I mean? Full army uniform. Anyway, here we go, look, Bank and Masonic Lodge in Beamish Museum, which is the one we just looked at. Do you know what I mean? But I thought I'd do a double on that just so you could have a look. You know what I mean, my profane friends? I wouldn't zoom in on the symbolism. Can you see the symbolism on top of there, look? See the symbolism, look? Power. Look at them urns, look. And then what we got on there, look? The Pharaoh Obelisk, or whatever that's called. Do you know what I mean? I always call that, you know, that looked like one of them sex things, doesn't it, that one? You know, a mini stretcher, isn't it, if you get what I mean? But if you can see, on the left, you can see the square and compass. On the right, we can see the old, I hate saying that word, because I think, do you know what I mean? That's a, they shut it down, don't they? Oh, wait there, my profane friends. You've got a symbolism in that, even in that decor there. Look, I say the decor, the, what's that bloody called? The gate? No, the grate. Yeah, the rail. You know what I mean? You got that Freemason sneaking into the lodge, look, with a kid on his back. Watch him. But there you go. The bank is the same symbolism, look, as the bloody lodge, because the lodge and the bank are all in one. Do you know what I mean? There's no difference to it. You know what I mean? Oh, I've done it again. Sorry. Anyway, Hazel gets in Swedish. The Masonic Hall opened in 2006. The features of the front from a former Masonic Hall sited in Park Terrace, Sunderland. And then obviously I go through like that. And again, look, 2006, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent opened the Masonic Hall in the town. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, which the ceremony is supported by 2,000 Freemasons in full army uniform. You know what I mean? And again, look, conspiracy theorists of the world. See, they keep calling us conspiracy. That pisses me off because we're truthers and we tell the truth more than these geezers do. Do you know what I mean? All they do is lie because we're without the temple and we're in the north, the hated people. You know what I mean? Anyway, the Rothschilds and the Masons and the Illuminati, we skeptics owe you an apology. See, now they're apologising to us because we are the truthers. You were right. The players may be a little different, but your basic premise is correct. The world is a rigged game. Yeah, we found this out in recent months when a series of related corruption stories spilled out of the financial sector, which is the banking, suggesting the world's largest banks may be fixing the prices of, well, just about everything. And they did. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing, and it's all Masonic. Yeah, you lose your house, you lose your car, and the first thing what go, they take you to the Masonic courts. Yeah, then from the Masonic courts, it go to the Masonic bailiffs, and then the Masonic bailiffs are jumping on your door or taking your car. Do you know what I mean? You must pay. Do you know what I mean? And this is what they were. They was back in the day. Instead of stealing your cow and your chicken and all the rest of it and your corn, they don't do that now. They take your car. They take your house. They take your property. Do you know what I mean? But in the same pretense of that, they make you financially embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? Because they take everything from you. You're paying fines all the time, or you're doing this and that. The amount of fines I've got accumulated, you wouldn't believe, just by simple, silly things of these Freemasons coming after me, you know what I mean? Because they don't like what I say and what I do, do you know what I mean? I don't know how much debt I'm in, but it doesn't bother me, do you know what I mean? Because I don't owe shit, do you know what I mean? I come into this world with nothing, and I'll go out of this world with fuck all, do you know what I mean? Money to me is fuck all, do you know what I mean? I like having a bit of money, of course, you know, you've got to have a bit of money. You know, you can't survive without it. but I don't care that I'm not rich. I don't care if I got, you know, not millions of pounds or anything like that. I don't care if people have got money. It doesn't bother me. It don't faze me. You got loads of cars and fucking good, you know, enjoy your life, you know, but don't come fucking make my life worse. Yeah, because you're a cunt Freemason. Sorry to swear, because you're a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? Who's got a vindictive nature, yeah, and you think you're a god because you're in a fucking Masonic lodge. Do you know what I mean? And you mess with my life. Anyway, that's another story. We ain't getting into my vomit yet, my victimization of Masonic ill treatment. Anyway, so you've read that, all that spiel and that, all that shouting I just done. Right, hopefully you've read that. I'll leave this on here as well. Sorry, there's a little thing here. Look, I don't know, you know, like I can move it down, but that is a bit, that shadows the stuff and I can't get it to go anywhere really. I'll put it down the bottom, see if that helps. You know what I mean? So you look, including Barclays, USB, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and the Royal Bank of Scotland. You see what I mean? But this is what they are. This is what these banks do, yeah? So you've got to realise when you go in for a bank and you want a loan, you're more than likely ain't getting that loan, not because your business idea's bad. You're not getting it because you're more than likely been targeted and you're a profane person. Do you know what I mean? And that's as simple as that. They won't lend you any fucking money because you're a profane person, because they don't want us rich. They don't want us owning anything. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, if you go and give, if you're stupid enough, and I, you know, and I'd say that like not as a bad thing, yeah. If you're stupid enough to ever you listen to this and go into a bank or any business partnerships where they have it like at certain places, and I ain't going to mention any, they go, come and see, we've got businessmen that'll invest in you, and you go along. Yeah, and you spread your business idea to these men, yeah, that are supposedly going to invest in you. Don't, because they're not going to invest in you. They're going to see if whether you've got a good idea, they can steal it and invest it into another country for another Freemason lodge, and they're going to split them dudes with each other. Do you know what I mean? And you'll end up with fuck all, nothing. I promise you. That's what they do, and they've done it for centuries. These tricky Masons, you know what I mean? No, and here it is, you little. This is what I mean. You master Masons that go around with a big ego and a big fucking head. Yeah, you are all cannon fodder. Yeah, they're going to do nothing for you, because anyone who's really the elite in Freemasonry, yeah, they're using you. They're fucking using you because you're cannon fodder. Yeah, you're just a ring of protection for them. Yeah, because the real culprits are the ones that'll kill their own kids in their own beds to keep the inheritance. Do you know what I mean? I'm on about the real ritualistic men above. Do you know what I mean? That give two shits about you, and they'll wipe you out as quick as they wipe us out. So don't think you're anything special to them, because you ain't. You ain't in the bloodline, mate. You know what I mean? So don't even think you're part of what they got coming for us, because you're a part of it and you're part of the problem. You know what I mean? Because you should turn around and tell your fucking worshipful masters to get stuffed, yeah, and find out how corrupt your business, apart from the corrupt business dealing, all the corruption, the other corruption they do, gang stalking, drug dealing, paedophilia, SRA, do you know what I mean? The lot, do you know what I mean? Anyway, The Brotherhood, Stephen Knight. Read that book. I could give you, you know, I've got it here. I could scan it for you, I suppose. You know, I've got it 3 times. You know what I mean? Beautiful book. You know what I mean? It tells you everything, all the banks and all the things they own, right? Anyway, that's another story. Let's flick another page because you can read that. I'm sorry if I'm spieling, but I don't know what else to say. I can't just sit here like this and do nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Court of Appeal. That see, and when you go for an appeal, you think, oh, I'll win it on the appeal. No, you don't, because you're now appealing to the Freemasons about the Freemasons that told you to F off in the first place. You see what I mean? So you're just going to another group of Freemasons, and that's what you think, you know, you're going to get justice, but you ain't. You're just going to another department of Freemasons that are going to jog you on, mate. Off you go, you mug. But you're going to spend all your money on an appeal. Do you see what I mean? And so it makes you more poor. Do you see what I mean? Because you think you've got a chance in that court, and you ain't got no chance, because all you're doing is getting more money spent away from yourself, and they're going to absorb that into the Masonic Lodge, because they own the courts, they own the judges, they own everything, and they're the ones who are, when they're paying their dues, they're paying their dues for the shush ups they do all day long against you profane people, and all their job is just keep you running poor and you spending your money. And that's all they do. So you don't get up there with them lords, dukes and earls. You ain't going to own a manor or any fucking property or anything. Yeah. Show me a profane person that owns a manor house or something like that ain't born into it. No one. You're always going to be peasants. Do you know what I mean? So get that through your head. You've been peasants for decades and they know that. That's why you're profane. Profane. Anyway, to the great temple of corruption, the royal courts of justice this week to see an appeal application and observe the behaviour of that strange species, the lawyer. These people want us to perceive them to be honest, upright, honourable citizens, just a bit like Savile, you know, he was an upright citizen, like, you know, and he was a Freemason and a, you know, high up with all them other Freemasons, the lords, the dukes and the kings, you know what I mean? Anyway, these people to see them to be honest, upright and honourable. Same as the police. You look at them, you think they're honest, you think they're honourable. They ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't. And like I said, they're authority. So when you see them, yeah, like there's me standing here, right? I go, come on, follow me. And then people will follow me. But then you'll have a policeman turn up with a doctor, right? Two corrupt people, right? And they go, no, don't follow him, follow us. I'm a policeman. I'm a doctor. Who are the police? Who are the profane people going to follow? Do you see what I mean? And this is how their system work. Do you know what I mean? And they can do that in any fucking situation they want. Do you know what I mean? Whether they section you into the mental hospital. Everyone go, oh, the police and the doctors said that, so it's got to be fucking true, innit? Do you see what I mean? And that's the power they've got. Do you know what I mean? Section people and put them in hospitals. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got an agenda to stitch that person up or put him in jail or whatever. He got put away because he's a fucking guilty person. No, he got put away not because he's a guilty person, because he was a vomit, a victim of Masonic ill treatment because of some past vendetta, maybe decades before that his family have done, yeah? And just pay up time for that family, that clan to take that payment. Do you know what I mean? Because internally in their courts, that's what they've deemed fit for that. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do, you know? Anyway, so you've read that, obviously, so I'll go to the next page. If the case was nonsense, it would have been struck out, and with such highly honourable actions are not allowed the appeal to go ahead just because the defendants, Barclays Bank, I believe, had relied on provable forged documents to win their case. See what I mean? And the magistrates was a friend of the person at Barclays who was Freemasons, who had been acquitted. The judge asked for more substantial evidence and tried to make sure that when the matter comes back in 14 days, it will come in front of him rather than the other judges. He said there was no need to serve any actions on Westminster Bank. See what I mean? And this is the corruption you get. This is just banks I'm talking about. I'm talking about this goes across the board, you know, police, fucking whatever it is. When you're complaining, all avenues of complaint are owned by Freemasonry. Do the research. This is what I'm on about within your own town. You complain about your police station, that don't matter. Your complaints go nowhere. You're just complaining straight back into the police, to the profane, into the Masonic police. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to shut you down. You're going to have fuck all to say. Do you know what I mean? They know the profane ain't got no momentum anyway. You know what I mean? And here we go, at the start of the present new Tory government, you know, again, they're Tory, they're Labour, they're Conservative, they're the red side, they're the blue side, Red Lodge, Blue Lodge. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So all these parties that they make up, whatever it is, I don't care if it's BLM or LBDQ and all that bollocks, that's all to do with Freemasonry because it keeps the chaos within the communities going. Do you know what I mean? And they make the divide and conquer, you know, and when they've infiltrated these groups and made them up and they get a bit of momentum by people who are profane, yeah, right? Because they're the ones who's got the stomach to fucking do it. Profane people don't do shit. You've seen that in the last 2 years, yeah? Profane people don't do nothing. They just do about their lives, yeah? So the people who force these new groups or whatever have a purpose, yeah? And the purpose is to do what Freemasonry wants. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they do, these groups. But once they get momentum and they get the profane, you know, the momentum of the profane handling it, the Freemasons step back then You know what I mean? They'll have a couple of people on the inside keeping that little tick over, but that's it. Then that ball rolls and people get on it. Do you know what I mean? And they find it hard to get off it because they're stuck in that rut of being on that train. You know what I mean? The same as like you have a peaceful protest, you can have 1,000 people marching in peace. It'll take 12 Freemasons, to go with a mask on and everything, start kicking doors, smashing windows, and then when the profane join in, they work away. Once that momentum and the profane start kicking doors, pulling lampposts and all the rest of it, the Freemasons melt away into the crowd. Do you know what I mean? And they're gone. But you, the profane, because you don't know what the fuck's going on and what the gender is of the Masons, carry on kicking in doors, smashing windows, looting and robbing. And the Freemasons love it because it gives more power to their Masonic brothers to come in and arrest all you profane people. Do you see what I mean? More powers, more ways of enclosing that cage around you so you can't do shit. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they do all the time. Fucking sickos, they are fucking sick. Sorry to swear, do you know what I mean? They make me so angry, but there's so many people asleep. They go, I'm awake, there ain't many people awake, because if they didn't, they look behind what's fucking going on and who runs it, regardless of what that is, and they've got hundreds of, these people are being paid to do it, to make all these different groups up, to keep you occupied and distracted with shit. Do you know what I mean? Crap that don't affect you in any-day life, but it would if you researched your communities, because the corruption and the shit is within your own communities. The drug dealing, the Epsteins, the Savills, they're all within your community. Research that, your communities, who's corrupt. You ain't got. We know the world is corrupt and wrong, but you can't do nothing about that. But what you can do is something about the people that are living within your community, can't you? And it don't take a lot to research that and find out where it all leads to. Trust me, just do the research. Anyway, you've read that bit, I suppose. Sorry to keep going on, but, they do make me angry, you know what I mean? But this is, I should have got you the links to these, sorry. But if you search them up anyway and just think you'll see, you know what I mean? Look, on the other hand, if we know the judge is a Freemason, we can learn all the special Masonic signals and throw the matter into complete chaos, or alternatively either object to being heard by a judge we would expect to be bent, or insist on being heard by a judge we expect to be honest, because there will be people who expect Freemasons to be completely honourable. Do you see what I mean? And this is where it gets you, you know what I mean? But there's no honourable Freemasons against the profane. The profane will never win against Freemasonry, because they're your gods, mate. They're your gods. They're the living gods within the temples, what they call the army barracks, their lodges, which is in every town and city. And remember what Hitler did from Berlin, with say 1,000 men and spread across Europe, his Freemasons, right? And he didn't persecute the Freemasons. He was getting the other Freemasons because they were his enemy. It was one Masonic lodge fighting other Masonic lodges. And he knew when he went into town, he had to take the Freemasons out because they ran that town. And all he did was replace them with his own Freemasons. That's all he did in each town and city. So when they go, oh, we were persecuted. No, you weren't persecuted. You were the enemy of Hitler, because he was a Freemason, and so was all. That's why you had the Night of the Long Lives. When he took all the people out with the Night of the Long Lives, they were all Freemasons, and he took them out. They were all part of the same fucking lodge. You know what I mean? The Night of the Long. They tell some lies, and that forget-me-not where they say, oh, that's to honour their brothers, And so you're telling me they were walking around the city, with all these forget-me-nots on, all these Freemasons, right, And the Germans, the SS with no intelligence, and they're so stupid, didn't know what they were doing. And then when they brought in the supposed Freemasons and tortured them, you're telling me they didn't know what the forget-me-not was, or what it represented? Come on, fucking wake up. Do you know what I mean? Of course they knew. What the forget-me-not meant was, leave me alone, I'm on your side, you Nazi, and I'm grassing up anyone who isn't. Do you know what I mean? That's what that meant. Do you see what I mean? Everyone else who wasn't part of the forget-me-not squad was fair game. You know what I mean? Was an enemy Freemason ready to be captured and sent to camps because you're an enemy of us, the Freemasons, that were the Nazis. And that's all it was. You know what I mean? Not that, nothing to do with anything else. Anyway, I've said that in other videos. I'm more likely to get blocked now. But that's what the forget-me-not was. Look it up. You know what I mean? The forget-me-not was there to help the Nazis recognise their Freemason brothers, yeah, and that they were on the Nazis' side. That's what the forget-me-not was. Or do we really believe the Nazis didn't have no idea with all these fucking forget-me-nots walking about, yeah? They're Freemasons where they signalled, yeah? This is how they caught them out anyway, yeah? Again, yeah? Because how do you find a Freemason in your town now? Do you know he was a Freemason? No. So what the Germans were doing were throwing their own hand signs to the Freemasons. The Freemasons were signalling them back, yeah? And then they fucking knew who the Freemasons were. Do you know what I mean? That's how they found the Freemasons. How can you now, as a profane person, right? Unless, you know, they say Hitler wasn't a Freemason and all the rest weren't Freemasons then, okay? How did they find out who the Freemasons are? Okay, they crashed the lodge door and got the lists or whatever the fuck. So you're telling me the Freemasons, after all during the war, yeah, didn't have the sense to burn the logs and everything else before the Germans kicked the doors in? Come on, do you know what I mean? They knew who every fucking Freemason was. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, they're all in cahoots with each other, yeah? But they knew, yeah, because obviously they were making a move and a particular lodges, they more than likely knew it years ago they were going to do this and infiltrated each and every fucking Masonic lodge, yeah, within Berlin and wherever else they needed to with their men, which were the brown coats or whatever they were called, whatever, yeah, and they knew who to take out. Do you know what I mean? Who was a sympathiser and who wasn't, yeah? And the ones that were sympathisers wore the forget-me-not, and that's as simple as that. You know, I'll just turn to another page anyway. God, I babble on, don't I? But again, if you read this, you know, it tells you the corruption they get up to. You know, look, here they go, look. So here, a very high proportion of teachers. And remember, this is why they're dumbing your kids down, because the teachers, the governors, and all the school boards are run by Freemasons, yeah? And they're on agenda. That's why you've got the sex books going in the libraries, the sex books going within your schools, yeah? I mean, I went up there moaning when my girls were at school, yeah? They were fucking, what, how old were they, 12? Less than that, I think, 8, you know what I mean? And they're giving them sex education, do you know what I mean? I had a right road ding with them, you know what I mean? Ding dong. So you're going back 7 or 8 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Fucking terrible. So this didn't just come out for the last 2 years. They've been slowly bringing that in for fucking eight years at least. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, lecturers, doctors, engineers, musicians, artists, entrepreneurs. So what I mean, and the whole system, everything in your town and city is corrupted by these Freemasons because they run it all. The restaurants, the pier, the nightclubs, the bouncers, the fucking lot. Do you know what I mean? Wake up. You know, my life's in danger. You know what I mean? You know. They do talk about killing me and that, you know, and I'm hoping if I do get killed or I disappear, that is for you guys to come to Great Yarmouth and investigate, you know what I mean? Because the videos will be there anyway and you'll be able to go straight up to people and question them. Do you know what I mean? Little gang stalking drug dealers. Anyway, that's another story. Look, whistleblowing banker went to prison, speaks out, yeah? And again, connections with a 9 billion interest rate rigging scandal, has said telling his father about it was the hardest day of my life, yeah? But anyway, again, Freemasons all behind it again. Do you see what I mean? Because they can do these type of robberies because they are the fucking banking system. But when everyone loses their pensions, what we've heard in the past about 1,000 billion times, people go, oh, that pension company was bad. No, that pension company weren't bad. It was intended for you to lose your pension money because it was a well thought out plan by Freemasonry years before it even got there. Do you know what I mean? Because no time is on their side, isn't it? You see? Right, so I read that. I'm just going to flick through. Now, again, look, the Eldon Lodge, number 1755, yeah? The Bank of England Lodge. See? Bank of England Lodge. Yeah? Can you believe it? But now they meet at the lodge, you know, Freemason Hall, Queen Street, London. But, the Bank of England, look, is a lodge. Do you see what I mean? Crazy. They can't help themselves. That's why they're all the merchants and everything like that. Bank of England Lodge Benevolent Fund, yeah. They go, you know, they got a fund. See what I mean? So they're even though they're a benevolent fund, that everything they earn as a charity, they slice half the fucking price, you know, they take half the money into themselves. And here it is, look, Bank of England Lodge, look. You know what I mean? And then on this side, ooh, I don't know if I can show you that. And they're the locations on the map. Look, the Ship's Tavern, Long Lane, Bermondsey, London, England. Horns, Bermondsey Square, London. That's the different places. But look at it, look at the dates on it. Look, 1788, 1799, 1802. You know what I mean? Oops, sorry about that. Here it is again, look. Nick Lodge joins the Bank of England, yeah? Another Freemason. Barclays Bank and Masonic Lodge, Town Beamish Museum. Oh yeah, we just had that one. Sorry, where this come from. I don't know where that been, but that's the bank there again. Do you know what I mean? As you can see, my profane friends. And then we've got Freemason Hall, Northampton Limited, right? Yeah. You've got, and here it is, look, watch, right? Why did I put that in there? I think this is the bank again. Yeah, Barclays Banklet. So Freemasons Hall. Yeah, it's a Freemason Hall. Northampton Limited, right? Company number 222, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay. So here it is. Look, Barclays Bank PLC. So we've got NatWest. I'll show you that. HSBC, a bank of Freemasons. Yeah. This is now Barclays Bank. Yeah. Look, the different ones. They're changing it. I'm scrolling down. Obviously, you can't see that. Look. So that's the 16th of May 2014, yeah? And then we've got the 9th of May 2014, 6th of October 2004, 6th of October 2004, 7th of November 2000. See what I mean? And they're all, like I said, banks. Do you know what I mean? Anglia Building Society, by this one company, by the way. That's all one company that was. So all of that is that. Freemason Hall, Northampton. All banks and building societies. You know what I mean? Corrupt as... Anyway, corrupt. Right. Very winded lodge. Look, Lodge of the United Order of Total Abstinent Sons of the Phoenix. Look, United Order of the Total Abstinent Sons of the Phoenix. I've got to look these people up. I've never heard of these ones. This one sounds as though it was linked to a Masonic lodge. Certainly other Masonic lodges, such as the Champion Lodge, met there, right? Initially it seemed, and this again is to do with the bank, yeah? Somewhere else coming, Norfolk, Tavern, Portsmouth, Coffee Tavern, Bearsman. Oh, I've got it backwards. There's somewhere here, I'll have to show you. Masonic Hall, Church Street. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. I think, yeah, this is what it is. Gloucestershire Masonic Hall, yeah? You find a lodge, blah, blah. And look, Barclays Bank, look, it's along, again, another bank alongside Barclays Bank. So a Masonic lodge next door to a Masonic lodge. A bank next door to a Masonic lodge, yeah? And this is what it is all the time, yeah? Peter Grimson, one of Peter Grimson, one of Norfolk's youngest Barclays Bank managers, okay? And the reason he was so young when he was appointed is because he was a Freemason, yeah? And it gives you his story here, right? Yeah, after 8 years, he became the manager of the Aylsham branch. Yeah, right. Wait there, but keen in sport. Sea fishing, and his wife all became long-term ticket holders at Carrow Road. Right. He was a founding member of two Masonic lodges, the Yare Lodge and the Earl of Leicester. Earl. Remember that. You see, he was always prepared to help people and organisations, serving as a treasurer to numerous groups and good causes. See what I mean? He stood as the town councillor at Stalham, you know what I mean? And where he was elected with a majority of just 10 votes. And he was a great supporter of the town church, you know what I mean? And that's their life all the time. See, they're always the same repetitive thing. Church, do-gooder, charity fundraiser, you know, everything Savile do, these people do. Do you know what I mean? Here's another go. Welshman Mark Graham, born in London, sounded the Bow Bells, educated in London, you know what I mean? Again, look, working for the finance company, he joined North Wales Police. So you got a banker and a policeman, that's his credentials. So whatever he say over me is going to be more believable than anyone else. But he's going to stand there as a policeman and an ex-financer. But who's going to believe him over me? No one's going to believe me. They're going to believe him because he's an ex-policeman and an because he's not going to be standing there as a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? He's going to stand there as an ex-policeman, and that gives more weight to his words because I'm a policeman. I'm a doctor. And this is the trouble within courts and everything else you go up against. The first thing that come out of a Freemason's mouth is, I'm a member of the church. I'm a member of the police force. I'm a fucking this. I'm a fucking that. And they get you every time because you stand there as a profane person that ain't been allowed to get up in anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And if they do let you up anywhere, you're there just so they can bring you down, so they can say, oh, look, we do arrest our police officers, but they're all profane. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Anyway, police as a civilian working in the control unit and is finally retirement. You know what I mean? Yeah, Newnham Masonic Hall Limited, right? Newnham Masonic Hall Limited, okay? And here we go again, right? Boom. See, what is it? A Lloyd's TSC Bank, yeah? That's Masonic Lodges, Lloyd's TSB Bank. Lloyd's PSB Bank again, yeah? This is the same thing. And then this is the final one. And then it's the Lloyd's PSB Bank. So that, Newnham Masonic Hall, was a Lloyd's bank. Do you see what I mean? Crazy stuff, isn't it? Right, and here we go again. Look, time to lift the apron pressure. Pressure is mounting for the Freemasons in big businesses to reveal all Patrick Oskins reporting. Yeah, and then I'll just leave this, and I won't say too much. You know me, I do talk a lot. I know. You know what I mean, baby? You know what I mean? Again, it's all Westminster and London. Look, Black Horse. Yeah. They are the, oh yeah, this is, no, I've got, this is a brilliant, look at this. On the first Monday in February and December and the third Monday in April and October, an anonymous collection of men carrying plain briefcases make their way to 86 St James Street in Westminster, London. They are the members of the Black Horse, which is a bank, of Lombard Street Lodge, yeah? A secret group of Freemasons who have one thing in common. They all work for Lloyd's Bank or have a close connection to it. Do you see what I mean? You know, the history's there. You just got to look for the research and get the common denominators. You know what I mean? You research your hospitals, you'll find it's all run by Freemasons. You look at your local schools, it's all being dumbed down by the local Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You look at your entertainment systems, you know, where they entertain you like in pubs and clubs, all run by Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You go to a restaurant, all run by Freemason connections. Do you know what I mean? Go to the morgue. You want to be buried, a Freemason's going to bury you. Whether he's going to take your body parts, because you trust him, of course, yeah. Whether he's going to take your body parts for a Masonic ritual or not is another matter, isn't it? Because I've already agreed with certain people, I can't say who, that when I die, yeah, and I go through that fucking door to be cremated or buried, I don't care, whatever anyway, it's just whatever. But I'm going to make sure that I am nailed in the coffin and I am getting burned, and my ashes are going to be scooped into that fucking thing. And my ashes are going to be in the urn. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't trust these Freemasons, especially after what I've been saying. So, you know, I don't want to end up like William Wallace, you know what I mean? With like 5 of my body parts are spread around the world, because these Freemasons don't love me. Do you know what I mean? I'll have, you know, my head in the ugle. I'll have my head in the ugle, you know, because that ugle has got loads of secret rooms, yeah? And I'm telling you, yeah, once we get to the knowledge, you'll see there's loads of secret rooms and passages going from that ugle. Do you know what I mean? And they got their danger dungeon rooms in there, I'm telling you, in that ugle. Anyway, that's another story. But hopefully you've read that. But again, Nash was counterparts at Lloyd's Bank and National Westminster get together. Do you know what I mean? The Midlands Bank. Look, see, this is all the other, you know, like other banks that have gone in, and they're, you know, like I said, they are the bankers, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They are the wankers. I mean the bankers. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing unusual about these meetings. Up to 300,000 men are estimated to be Freemasons. But from my other videos that I've shown you, there's 800,000. Remember that. Many are financiers and the businessmen. There are more than 8,000 lodges. Some of them, we know there's now about over 10,000 lodges. There's more than likely Yeah, I'd have to go research through it. But even 8,000, that's still bad. But I know there's 10,000 lodges now in the UK. Some links to particularly employers or industry. Lloyd's, the insurance market, famously has 3, including the Luton Lodge. So they run the lodges, do you see what I mean? And then you're wondering who runs this. Freemasons look after bankers, the money. They look after the lords, the dukes, the earls, the kings, the queens, do you know what I mean? And you, the profane, are peasants, and you don't even know it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, while Freemasonry in the police, the judiciary and the local government has been the focus of opposition and suspicion, Masons in business community have escaped largely unscathed, and they have. However, a dispute in the John Lewis, and I don't know what that says, group illustrates how representation of, and I don't know, I should have got that, but I didn't. While Freemasonry in the police and the judiciary, oh yeah, that's it. Lewis Retail Group illustrates how resentment of Freemasons is still rife. It also threatens a wider embarrassment for the craft, which nowadays is trying to foster a more open and less sinister image. You're sinister as hell, these people, I'm telling you. We know now, our eyes are on you. Our profane have you. We have our own, we've got 2 eyes on you. You may have 1 eye on us, but we've got 2 on you, babies. Anyway, I'll let you read that, my profane friends. I still can't shut up, can I? Because I think I'm sitting here and it's like, well, you've got to have a bit of spiel, ain't you? You know what I mean, my profane friends. So there you go. No, here they go, referring to widespread popularity that the organisation embroiled with improper favours, preferential advancement of its members and unethical business practices. He said he had never encountered such behaviour. Do you see the denial on these people? It's fucking unreal. And if you want to prove that wrong, like I said, research your hospitals and see who runs all the boards. Freemasons. Search your school boards and your teachers, and you'll see it's all run by run by Freemasons. Search your police force, yeah, and you'll find it's all run. And I'm talking about in every town and city, you'll find they're all Freemasons. See who your corrupt criminals are within your town. They're all Freemasons. See who run all the restaurants, the pubs, the clubs, all run by Freemasons. See who owns all the leases down your high streets and your town centres, all Freemasons, yeah? And that's every town and city. But they still have the balls and the gall to say, I've never encountered such behaviour. They run the world. You know what I mean? You profane peasants with nothing. Right, right. I'll just leave that like that. But this is John Lewis. See, any big major company, John Lewis, Tesco's, Asda's, all of them, they're all run by Freemasons, but they just keep putting them frontmen up like Mr. Smith, Mr. John, and all the rest of it. Same as Hollywood movie stars. They're all the same, you know what I mean? But they do know, look, they're telling you here, you know what I mean? Look, whatever the facts, there is a common suspicion that Masons look after their own, putting allegiance to fellow Masons ahead of responsibility to their shareholders, colleagues, and customers. Do you see what I mean? And they don't give a fuck. They put everyone above you, preference, yeah? And if you're profane and go for a job and a Mason goes beside you, they will hire that Freemason rather than you, the profane, because only Masons get the preference over all profane people. Because if they don't, they take them to the internal courts and they're fined. Do you know what I mean? So you've got nothing, not even getting a simple job. Yeah, these Freemasons done embroiled in the corruption of not being able to get a job. Do you know what I mean? These people are scum at the highest levels. Anyway, I'll let you read that. I don't see why Masons should declare themselves any more than members of the MCC or the Catholic Church. The MCC is Masonic and the Catholic Church is all Masonic. They should be coming forward and telling us they're Freemasons and all, including all our priests and vicars and everyone else. You know what I mean? Sees his Freemasonry as a complete irrelevance. Do you know what I mean? That's what they try to do it. You know what I mean? I've been a Mason, I suppose, for 20 years or so, and not once in those 20 years can I recall an occasion when business was even, years when I can recall an occasion when business was even discussed. They don't have to discuss business because they are the business. Do you know what I mean? And everything works like clockwork. Do you know what I mean? And so long as they're running them businesses, yeah, as clockwork, nothing needs to be discussed anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because it runs, they pay their dues. Do you know what I mean? Everyone who owns them shops or whatever the leases, that all goes into the lodge. And that's all it is. And they run every town and city. The central hub of everything, whether there's a fete or anything else, is all discussed and organised within the Freemasons in your community. Do you know what I mean? So they just talk shit. I can't recall an occasion when business was even discussed. They discuss it all the time if they want to, because who's going to know if they're discussing it or not? Because you ain't getting in the lodge to have a little listen, are you? Do you know what I mean? So what is discussed in that lodge, apart from crime, murder and mayhem, when all the doors are shut and there's no windows in the lodge? But anyway, what do I know? Yeah, right, anyway, I'll let you read that. Hopefully you've read that, because I'm going to flick another one. You know what I mean? Look at him. Look. He also denies that Masons face a potential conflict of interest because of the oath of loyalty they are thought to swear. That's a load of baloney. Here we go. And you can see this same, who's that dude on, you know, and I leave him there for a purpose, yeah. I can't remember his frigging name. You know, the guy, he's a Freemason. He's arguing about 100 posts of mine, yeah. And he gets people and he's arguing he's a Mason. Whether he is or not, I don't know. I don't really care. But it shows that everything that's posted towards him, you go, oh, that's a load of shit. Prove it. You know what I mean? That's a load of baloney. But this is what this Freemason's saying here. Look, I never swore an allegiance to that effect. And I've shown you all of the oaths and the thingy they swear to each other, and they have to follow orders. Do you know what I mean? Because if they don't, like I said, they're fucked. Right. Oh yeah, Martin Shaw, get his book. Author Inside the Brotherhood believes the Freemasons can be more sinister, especially in the city where there are hundreds of lodges. The square mile has been squared and encompassed by many times over by the men in lambskin aprons. The capacity for corruption is there. It is a kind of additional old boy's net. I think it blurs people's objective edges. You know, and you ain't got to worry about London. You've been squared off in every town. There's an encampment of Knights Templars in every town, yeah? And they're drilling with swords and everything else. You know what I mean? Believe it. I'll leave that there. No, although most businessmen keep their Freemasonry secret, a few openly admit it. So, sir, you see what I mean? Sir, lords, dukes, and earls. So, Michael Rich, the chairman of their stockbroker, Smith Newcourt, and advisor to many powerful businessmen, including Lord King and Lord Hanson, is one. You see what I mean? And here we go again. Look, when Sir Michael was managing director of the NM Rothschild, he tried successfully to sell his Royal Masonic Hospital, see what unsexily, to sell the Royal Masonic Hospital in Hammersmith against the wishes of many rank and file Masons in a celebrity battle that ended in the High Court. Do you see what I mean? They own all the hospitals. Even the ones they own through, you know, what are supposed to be ours. They've sold off all the NHS and everything else, and all their little Masonic brothers have bought her, because then they can get their Masonic brothers to the front of the queue when there's an operation needed, you know, for one of their brothers. Work it out. Look at it, you know. I wish I could organise surveys, you know, like people that should have got remanded get let out because they're a Freemason, or someone who should have got an operation didn't, but someone else has gone in their place and then they're a Freemason. You know, you need to be doing surveys like that. How much preference and, you know, whatever that is, you know, how much are they getting in favour for being a Freemason? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, look, Brown Shipley is Programme Master and therefore second only to the Duke of Kent in the Masonic hierarchy. Lord Lane of Horshall, the former senior partnership with the accountancy firm Billy O'Bider Hybelin, is another prominent Mason. Do you see what I mean? And these Freemasons, like I said, hopefully you've read that, but you can go back and pause it if you need to. I mean, and again, look, ex-director of BAM now devoted self entirely to life to Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? And again, he's a banker for fintech. Some leave for venture capital and some leave for hedge funds, and some leave to become Freemasons, such is the case with Carl Debenham. You know what I mean? And I'll leave that there. This is what made me laugh. That historically, Freemasons have been seen as somewhat of an arcane order. Yeah, they want you to see them as an arcane order with dust balls and old men. Yeah, but it ain't. They've got young men coming up, which are Lewises, which are born into it, right, through their Freemason fathers and mothers, Eastern Stars. Yeah, they're born into it. And they'll always be higher than all of you other little master masons that think that come and join us, yeah, and you've gone through the left door. You're just a ring of protection for these people. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story. But look, has been seen as somewhat members have installed with values based on integrity, kindness, honest, and fairness. Well, that's not what's happening around my immediate vicinity and community on these people. And if you do the research within your own towns, you'll see that that statement there is complete a load of bollocks. Do you know what I mean? Look, Grand Guard. Look, a Grand Guard. What is a Grand Guard? Yeah, is he the guard of what? What is he guarding? Do you see what I mean? Conspiracy theorists, eat your hearts out. But again, what is a Grand Guard? He's a Grand Guard of what? All the elite, innit? You know what I mean? He's a ring of protection. The First National Bank and the Masonic Lodge is a historical building located in Fairfax, Oklahoma. Again, another bank that is a Masonic Lodge. You know what I mean? All their money has come from the Knights Templar, you know, and all they did was rob the caravans of the rich. What were profane people, of course. You know, they were the pirates when they ran, you know, when they robbed all the Spanish armadas and all of that. That's where all the money went, to the Freemasons, and it's all stashed. When they had a war and Hitler and all that, they robbed all that back, all the gold and everything else. You know what I mean? The Freemasons own all of that. We've got nothing of it. Again, look, Essex Masonic Hall Limited, look, 97 officers and 91 resignations, right? But look, what's this? Look at that. You know what I mean? That's John Smith's Tadcar Brewery. Do you know what I mean? Which is a Masonic lodge. They own everything. It don't matter what you're eating, what you're drinking, they own it. Scottish and Newcastle breweries, look. See? John Smith's Tadcaster Brewery Limited. Oh, here we go through these. So that, you know, like I said, it ain't just about, you know, them owning banks and whatever. They own everything. The settee you sit on, they own that company that made that settee. Do you see what I mean? The radiator in your house comes from Freemasons, from a Masonic company that makes radiators. Your windows in your fucking house are made by Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? Or the company owns it. Do you see what I mean? Everything you see, the Freemasons own it. They got the fingers in the pie. There are 6 million Freemasons around the world. Famous members include comedian Richard Pryor, who is reported to have joined. Yeah. And I'll let you read that. You know, Hollywood actors, John Wayne, blah, blah. But if you look at who the actors hanged around with, yeah, say, for instance, going back, Frank Sinatra, he was part of the mob, you know, had ties to, you know, people high up in that were criminals, yeah, because the criminals are what run Hollywood. And they look after all the rich people, do you know what I mean? And that's the same here, you know. The well-to-do people in this town, yeah, are protected by the criminals, the Freemasons, and they've got free reign to do as they want because they fucking protect the top elite people. And they've always done that for decades and centuries. Do the research, you know. Oh, shit, I've gone the wrong way. Oh, there we go. And here we go. Oh, that changes now. Okay, so that's it. Yeah. Now here we go. Look, Gary Rogers, a former CID officer, the Great Manchester Police, alleged that Masons at the top of the force had once tried to protect an officer. That's not the first time. Do you see what I mean? You know, that one's protecting one officer. They don't protect one officer. They protect the whole freaking system of Freemason brothers within the police force. Do you know what I mean? The whole fucking lot. And them Freemason brothers that are in the police force protect their criminalised Freemasons that are doing all the drug dealing, the prominent businessmen, the legends, you know, within your communities. Yeah, they're all untouchable because they're Freemasons, and they won't grass each other up. They won't say anything because the punishment, the corporal punishment, is worse than you could ever imagine. You know what I mean? Look, all of them. Look, number of British prime ministers and everything. And remember the Freemasons again. Yeah, got the power over Churchill and everyone else because they were all buggering little boys and they were being filmed, by people like the Cray twins and that, when they were setting parties upstairs and that, they ran the doors, they ran the clubs, and they had free reign to do that. But when they finally got caught for the murders and that, obviously they put a stop to it, a bit like, when they did Kenny Noy. Do you know what I mean? They put them away for a very long time because putting them in jail stops them mouthing off who's done what and who's done what. They had no voice, did they? But people obviously do know the true story of what they did, and you can go look at the Red Rooms, yeah, and Brian Harvey and the doorman. You're telling me the doorman, the club owner, and everything else that went on in that club, that they didn't know about the Red Rooms? Of course they did. Do you know what I mean? But only the VIP Freemasons were getting in there. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, look, but in the past few weeks, a more sinister impression of the secret movement of brothers has begun to emerge. And I'll let you read that. Thwarting reform and the police service. Yeah. See? And here's the bottom line here. Look, Roger said that the police, who were also Masons, had split loyalties between the secretive organisations they belonged to and the public they were supposed to serve. They don't serve you. They serve their Masonic brothers, and they're going to keep protecting them left, right and centre because they're involved in it just as much as the fucking other people. Do you know what I mean? In fact, they're more dangerous because they're the ones who are getting away with the murders. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, when they take you in a van or in a hospital, like a hospital, an ambulance pull up, whether you're getting out of that ambulance or that police car or that, that's what, the police deem fit to do. Do you know what I mean? See, this is what the critics know. Critics say that someone reporting a crime has the right to know whether the policeman investigating the case and the person they are complaining about are the members of the same lodge. It don't matter if there is or not. The point is to do with Freemasonry. You could bring someone in from Scotland, yeah, right, who's a Freemason, and there's a Freemason here. He's supposed to investigate. He won't because that's his brother. Do you know what I mean? So there's got to be no Masonic involvement at all. And anyone who's gone through a court case now needs to know how many are Freemasons, the judge, because they're working against you if you're profane. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're being a victim, a victim of Masonic ill treatment, only you know. I don't know. I don't know your cases. But once you start researching who's fucking doing what to you while you're losing a business, while you're actually standing in court and have to stand in court, you know what I mean? You do the research and you'll find yourself surrounded by Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? In all its glory. 200 judges and policemen are paid up Masons, yeah? That's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be the pillars of the British establishment, Hundreds of civil servants and councillors. Do you know what I mean? They ain't just, but see how they make it like it's only in London or whatever. These councillors and the civil servants are in your town, yeah? Because every policeman, judge, and police, judge, and civil servant within your town is a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? But when they word it in these papers, that's what pisses me off, is that they make out it's just in London. Do you know what I mean? It ain't just in London. It's in your town, your city, and the corruption is there within your own communities. And they're called Freemasons, and they're the shop owners. They're your magistrates. Do you know what I mean? They're your business owners. They're the ones that own all the restaurants, all the pubs, all the clubs. They own the doorman, the security. They own everything. Do you know what I mean? These people. Do the research. Prove me wrong. Go on. Anyone, prove me wrong. Go on. You can't, because I know. Do you know what I mean? You cannot prove me wrong. I know they own everything. Everything I say about Freemasonry is a fact and a truth. You know what I mean? So stick up your bloody conspiracy theory, whatever. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. stung by the criticism of what it regards as a gross misrepresentation. Well, if that was misrepresentation, why am I calling them gang stalking, drug dealing, paedophile, nonces, and rapists? Do you know what I mean? That's facts. That's the people within this community. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? My community, the Freemasons here are crime lords. Yeah. Nothing but. And I don't care who knows. And I will shout that till fucking I die, or they decide to kill me in a Masonic ritual, or make me suddenly disappear. Yeah. People say, what do you do it? I do it because I've been gang stalked and fucking God knows and harassed and whatever for over 3 to 4 decades and marked by these people. They call you a mark, yeah, or a targeted individual, yeah, a perjured individual. You know what I mean? That's what they think they made me. You know what I mean? But like I said again, if it hadn't been for this COVID and everyone waking up to it, no one would have known. I could have been shouting from the rooftops. No one would have known fuck all, like James Todd. You know what I mean? Who they persecuted. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that persecute people. They're the ones that make wars and kill hundreds of thousands of people and atrocities. These people, but they do it behind hidden uniforms. Do you know what I mean? They just don't wear their aprons up front when they do it. They stand behind a Nazi uniform or a British uniform or a French uniform, and they trick the profane people to fight each other, just normal family men, while they reap all the gold and the wealth and all everything else and get out of it, and the land. Do you know what I mean? They trick you. Anyway, members, discrimination, pure and simple. You've been discriminating against me, you fucking tossers, for fucking over 4 decades, yeah? So don't even go there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, mate, they're the most disgusting group of perverts I've ever met in my life. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you about a group now, yeah, right? What they used to do is get these girls, right? Sleep with them, do you know what I mean? Yeah, they don't know. Well, I don't know if they know about it. We're going to know. I know now, innit? You know what I mean? Like I said, if you talk to enough people and record enough, you learn things. But this group of gang stalkers, say, right, drug dealers, you know what I mean? They used to take girls from nightclubs, sleep with them, right? And then they'd have the phone on the side, so the others would be in another house, yeah, right? And they'd all be laughing, and the person who'd get the bird in the bed would be making her scream or shout or whatever, and the ones who could make the one scream the loudest, the girl, they'd win the money or the pot, yeah. That's what these Freemasons used to do. So they used to get a girl, chat her up, take her home, then she'd be on the phone, and then the rest of the guys, yeah, would be listening on the other end of the phone. Do you know what I mean? Laughing and all that at the woman's expense, but she wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Because she's profane. You know what I mean? Then they'd have these little books, yeah? Is a girl easy or not? You know what I mean? They have these books on them, like horses. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they used to do. You know what I mean? She's easy, just get her pissed and you can get her in bed. And then they'd all go through it, all these guys. Do you know what I mean? Because they'd socially manipulate her, or socially, what do they call it? Like do an investigation on her, if you know what I mean, to the way, how you could get her into bed easy like that and put her in situations, and she wouldn't even know what would be going on, but they'd be recording it on the phone and then giggling on the other end of the line, listening to her scream or shout or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they used to do. These were Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? But I've got more stories like that, but that's another story anyway. So you've read this bit, I hope. You know what I mean? Adding, as an organisation, we welcome individuals from all walks of life, of any faith, age, class, or political persecution or persuasion. Through our 300-year history, when people have suffered discrimination, Freemasonry has embraced them into our lodges as equals. Bollocks, you know what I mean? You're telling me the real bloodlines, the people who are born into it, that have history that go back decades and decades. I'm now going to say that I've never had any of this gang stalk or anything. I'm now going to come up to your lodge and you're going to accept me into that lodge as a normal fucking person on the level with you lot. Not a fucking chance. You know what I mean? You may mug other fucking idiots off and they join and think, oh, I'm a Master Mason, I'm now level with everyone and I'm a brother. But you ain't tricking me. Your bloodline, these people are just a ring of protection. And the trouble is they're so stupid they can't even see it. That's how dumb they are. Well, they'd be out of it and ousting you right out. Anyway, you should read. Like I said, if you don't want to hear my voice, then just obviously, you can just turn it off and, look at the top of that ceiling to the right. Look, see the square and compasses, look. And then you got the circles, look. See? Unreal, innit? Unreal, my profane friends. And don't forget, look, it's 6 sides, 6 points, look. You see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each circle is within 6 sides, 6 points, blah, 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 yeah? And then you've got square and compass when you put the 2 X's together. Very nice, isn't it? I can't remember where this is, this hall now. But again, you've got the Masonic archlet, you see? Anyway, modern Masons have gone to a lot of effort to dispel the notion that we are all this secret is damaging society, yet serious concerns persist. The chief one being that secret members of the police and the just cannot be good for justice, and they ain't good for justice, the police. I remember again in Norwich, and this geezer, a policeman, you know what I mean? I got his badge number and that, and I got him taped. He's saying, me personally, he's talking to another criminal. He's going, you're not the sort of person, he's not the sort of person you want to be hanging around. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And the 2 people that he spoke to were criminals. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, again, I ain't going to go too much. Let's put it this way. A policeman's talking to 2 criminals and telling them I'm not the sort of person they should not be hanging around with me, because he was a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? And his little brothers, but we know who he is and we know what he does. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story. But yeah, that's police. That's the police for you. Do you know what I mean? They think they're so smart, these Freemasons. Oh, baby. Right. And here it is, look, see, look, for a new judge or magistrate declare the Freemason membership. But after threatening legal action from the Masons, the then Justice Secretary, Jack Straw, removed his disclosure requirements. Do you see what I mean? Because they got the money. So if you can't do that, right, yeah, right, like Jack Straw, he's supposed to be the Justice Secretary, can't even get the Masons. Well, the Masons have let's put it this way, the Masons have put a fucking Masonic lodge that the Queen didn't want anyway in Buckingham Palace. They put 1 in 2, or is it 3 in Westminster? Do you know what I mean? How are they getting away with that? Do you see what I mean? That's the power they wield. Do you know what I mean? That's like me coming to your house, yeah, and say, right, I'm now going to turn your bedroom into a Masonic lodge. Do you know what I mean? And you say, no, you can't, but I've got the power to do that. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Do you see what I mean? Because I've got the power. You know what I mean? They've got the power to do anything and everything they want. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got all the money, they've got all the wealth, they own the law, yeah, they own the land, yeah, they own the air, they own the Air Force, they own the water, they own the Marines and all the Navy, land, air, law, war. You know what I mean? Law, war. They own it all because they've already dominated and successfully conquered the whole planet and everyone who lives on it in every town and city. They haven't got to do it from Berlin, like I said, what Hitler did, because they've already infiltrated and got an encampment within your town, what they call a Masonic lodge, which is a gang hut. You know what I mean? But anyway, like I said, what do I know? I'm too profane to know all this. Yeah, I'll let you read some of this. Yeah, they're non-political and non-religious organisation, but in their books I've shown you all they do is go on about God, do you know what I mean, and pray to God and do poems and hymns to God, do you know what I mean, but they're non-religious. And then if you do the political, they're their own government anyway, they've got their own police, they've got everything. They're a government, like I said, they're a government they're a country within a country, if you get what I mean. It's hard to explain. But for instance, you can't pinpoint Freemasonry. Where is their nation? They're a nation of people, but with no country, but they own every country. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can't point at them and go, well, we can point to Africa. Africa is Africa, innit? We can point to Australia. Australia is Australia, you know, and your land is here, your land's there, and whatever. But where can you point? Where the Freemasons? Where's their land? Their land is the world. They own it. Do you know what I mean? And if you start pointing at the oceans, what oceans do they own? They own all the oceans because they own all the land. If you point at the airspace, what they keep spraying here, left, right, and center, they decide what planes go up in the air. because they own it all. They own all the airports, all the air, you know, all the Air Force and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing behind it. Once you research it, they're responsible for poisoning the water, poisoning the land. Do you know what I mean? And poisoning the air. They poison it all because they own it all. And that's all on the Masonic agenda from the people above. And all these little master masons that are helping them are so stupid because you're part of the cannon fodder. And when your job is done, because it's never ever safe being in allegiance with powerful people. It's never safe. Do you know what I mean? Because they will let you go before like that. And that's what's going to happen to all you little master morons and all you Mark Master Masons. I don't know how high up that would go before they actually, you know, but let's put it this way, if you're not bloodlined into it and you're not born into it, yeah, then you're just a cannon fodder, ring of protection for the evil elite. You know what I mean? And that's what you are, you Masonic perverts. Anyway, let's go again. However, a number of former members have spilled the beans. It spilled nothing. All they're telling you there, let's spill the beans. All they're spilling, everyone knows they roll their trouser leg up. Everyone knows they have a cable toe on their neck or their arm or whatever. You know, sometimes they're slipshod and all that cack. Everyone that's not secrets. That's just common knowledge. Do you know what I mean? And they keep telling you that over and over again because it's a placebo. Do you know what I mean? It's a placebo over and over again, you know. And here we go, look, this is it here again, look, and shaping history. How are the conspiracies linked to live on forever, yeah? 200-year-old conspiracy rears its head again. You see how they fucking put that, yeah? This is, look, first of all, this report, the first thing we've got asked, this was in 2020, Offrey Hanny or Lanny, you've got to ask, is he a Freemason speaking on behalf of Freemasonry, or is he speaking as a profane person? That's what you've got to look at it when you read these news articles. Again, he throws the weight because it's in a newspaper, which is we're all supposed to trust the newspapers because they give us the truth, yeah. And again, his weight, but listen to his wording. Look, this is how they get away with it. Look. Of all things, an order comprised largely of retired elderly folk. Do you see what I mean? And in my books, I've shown you the age they are, 18, you know, and again, they're not just 18, they're younger than that because the Demole boys, do you see what I mean, which you're born into, the Demoles and all, you know, you're born into it. They make out they're just like an old fuddy-duddy group, but they're not. They're a well-organised gang and then a well-organised army. And if you ain't sure of that, just pop down to your fucking lodge and have a look what goes in and out. Do you know what I mean? And you tell me if that's fuddy-duddy old men, because it fucking ain't. You know what I mean? Largely retired elderly folk that has for years been attempting to recruit new members. Oh, it make you laugh, doesn't it? They don't need to recruit any new members because the people that are born into it, that is it. Do you know what I mean? The ones they recruit are only the ring of protection. Do you see what I mean? You know, it's the minority, you know, like the worshipful master at the top, and then he's got his 6 underlings below him, and they control like 50 men in that lodge because they look up and that's what they've been told to do. Yes, sir. No, sir. 3 bags full, sir. March round to the east and salute the worshipful master. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know, they're trained as soldiers to obey, and that's what they are. They're soldiers trained to obey. You know what I mean? And if you step out of line, you get court-martialed, and then you go to their internal courts where you'll be fined or face a corporal punishment. You know what I mean? In the reflection room or whatever. Do you see what I mean? But this is how they try and come across that they're old fuddy-duddy, nothing to fear, they're all okay. Do you know what I mean? But they got the money, they're running the gang, they're the gangsters. Do you know what I mean? They got the guns. Oh mate, what was that I tried to, oh yeah, I'll show you something, yeah, I'll upload it, right, this video, and I'll show you that they got all the guns, right? Watch this, it's amazing. But anyway, I'll do that in the next videos and that, yeah, I'll show you how they got the guns and that obviously I'm talking about the UK, have got nothing, do you know what I mean? And though America has all the guns, yeah, and they can defend themselves. Remember, they've always got the element of surprise on their side. Because you profane, you don't really want to attack anything or attack, or go out and attack things, yeah. But the Freemasons have the advantage, yeah. We sleep at night, yeah. We're going, them, they can go round door to door, open doors, yeah, pull people out of the beds and shoot them. Silencers, boom, boom, shoot people right there in the fucking street, and then they pick them up on the dust carts, yeah, right. The Freemason, and that's it. End of story. They've got the advantage, and before anyone wakes up or realises what's happening, the fucking war's over. Do you know what I mean? I'll be the first to go, obviously, and anyone else who's a threat because you've outspoken or something, they're going to drag you out your house and shoot you. In America, a bit more tricky, but again, they still have the element of surprise, don't they? And they got bigger guns over there, what they can set off, so you're sleeping in your bed, they go, right, we're going to take him out, he's going to be, and that's it, you're dead. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they're going to do. And they're going to take over all the land, and the kids, yeah, they're going to bring the kids up as fucking thingy. This is what you got to do. And they know they can do it. It'll take 30 years, for them 30 years, right, to raise a child to think and do whatever they fucking want. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. And that them people, if you're trained for that, that's what's going to happen, I don't know. I'm only guessing, you know what I mean? But that's, do you know what I mean? They've always got the element of surprise because they're the army and they can say when and when not to attack the profane. We don't think about attacking them. We don't think about who runs our town, let alone anything. Anyone thinking here, who runs our town halls, who runs the police station, who runs the school boards. We just leave it all up to them, don't we? Big mistake we've had, you know what I mean? But again, you get forced out because they're a dominant force. So you try and go on against them, they fuck you up and they fucking wreck your life. Do you know what I mean? That's why no one can goes up against them because they're already well in place and well endowed, enough to bring anyone down that goes up against them. You know what I mean? And we know that. Anyway, I'll go across again. You know what I mean? Billionaires are supposedly members of, supposedly, you see how he writes that, supposedly, so people think, oh, supposedly, you know what I mean? But they are the billionaires, they're the millionaires, they're in this fucking lodges here within my town. They've got fucking loads of money, trust me. I know by the houses they have and by the cars they drive, do you know what I mean? And they ain't got that from fucking having peasant working in a factory, do you know what I mean? I know. The rich elite within my town, you know what I mean? They ain't got that because they're non-Masons. They got it because they're fucking Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? But I like to see, look, comments on the web contain fictitious lists of political leaders and billionaires are supposedly members of the order. See, fictitious. You see how they make it? You see what I mean? And people read this shit, yeah, which is propaganda, and people believe it. You know what I mean? Supposedly members. They're all fucking bankers. I've just shown you that. Do you know what I mean? What you think the bankers are for? They're the bloody Rothschilds and all the rest of it. You see what I mean? So it's not a supposedly or fictitious. Do you know what I mean? Look, they're said to be pulling the strings of the coronavirus crisis. I wish I hadn't fucking said that. But again, they did control that. Everything to do with that, them 2 years, everyone who lost their businesses, yeah, or their families or whatever, the Freemasons were responsible for that. And if you research it, that's not shit, that's a fact, because they were the doctors pushing that shit. The people on the telly, yeah, they run all the news channels and everything else, and when you're in your community, they're the ones pushing it from your town halls, the Masonic town halls, they're the ones putting out the leaflets, you better have this shot, you better have that shot. And from there, as I've shown you, the medical centres that are run by the Freemasons, they're the one pushing it all, because that's all the Masonic gender. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? And they are pulling the fucking strings of everything that goes on within your town and within your city. Prove me wrong. You can't, because it's a fact. They are the political leaders. They are the billionaires. Do you know what I mean? They are the ones pulling the strings. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let's go a bit more. And I can go on and on and on, but, well, I do go on and on and on, but who cares? Look, in Paris, the regime terror rose and fell, and the King of France was decapitated, right? So who do you think brought the King of France down? The Freemasons, do you see what I mean? Because he was against them, You can't go up against these. Not even, if a king can't go up against them, they bring kings and whole fucking countries down, yeah? What do you think you're going to do? Vast kingdoms buckled and surrendered to Napoleon's army. What was Napoleon? Let me think. Oh, yeah, he was a high-ranking Freemasons. You know what I mean? The 1,000-year-old Holy Roman Empire was on the brink of collapse. Again, Freemasonry. You know what I mean? They make the wars, no one else. Even the other side, Wellington, who was fighting Napoleon, was a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? All the profane fighters, just the family men, you know what I mean? And what happened to him in the end? Yeah, he goes to Elba and go on retirement and all the rest of it. It's all bollocks, mate. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll go across again. I think I'm coming quite to the end, And here we go. Look, many of their members, right, were aristocrats, yeah, which is well-to-do family and bloodlines, yeah. The lords, the dukes, and the earls. Do you know what I mean? No, possible that Louis the executed French king was a Freemason. In any event, the theory was that just quickly numbers of pamphlet essay when diffused it became one of the most widespread and most popular explanations of the French Revolution. Yeah, again, that's all to do with Freemasonry because they had the conquerors make the history because they print what you have to believe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even if the French king was a Freemason, he was certainly not doing what the majority of Freemasons wanted, so all the lodges ganged up on him and executed him. And that's all what fucking happened. Same as the king, what happened here, the king's here, you know what I mean? Who got him? Oliver Cromwell, you know what I mean? Because he was a Freemason, do you see what I mean? And it's the Freemasons that took over everything slowly and surely, and they're across the world now, and they own it all. They own every town, they own every city, they own every businesses, they own all the money, they own all the banks. You know what I mean? Mad. And here, oh yeah, we're still on this list. I'm built around 6 years in the mystery, right there. Where embroidered aprons and bare titles becomes hierarchy. Titles relating to complex hierarchy. It's not a complex hierarchy. That it's simple. You've got your privates, what are entered apprentices. You've got your corporals, which is 2 stripes, yeah, 1 stripe, which is the end of the fellow craft. And then you've got your master mason, which is a sergeant. And as you go up the ranks, it's field marshals, captains, and all of that bollocks. Same thing for any army. They're an army. You know what I mean? They march and they fucking drill. Freemasonry are devil worship, homosexual orgies, or the propagation of radical political ideas. And look at that, it spawned a glut of bizarre theories. This has spawned a glut of bizarre theories. They're not theories, they're facts. Yeah, they do devil worship. Lucifer, we've proved that. Homosexual, yeah, they are homosexual. And some of you wives, just take a gander in my, including the ones around here. Most of your husbands are having gay relations. Do you know what I mean? And that's a fact because I've fucking researched it. And I know what I've researched around my own area. Do you know what I mean? They're having gay relations. Check your husband's pants at the back end, you know what I mean? See what's in there, that'll give you the truth, or their boxer shorts. Anyway, that's another story. Like I said, holding true attitudes for devil worship, homosexuality, or the propagation of radical political ideas. Well, again, when that door shuts and there's no windows on the lodge, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Every bum for itself in the lodge, innit? That's why they march in round to the east with the bums to the west. So they don't get assaulted from the north with their bums intact. Anyway, that's enough story. But anyway, that's just me messing about there. Right. So I'll leave that for you to read. But this is all propaganda rubbish. Yeah, there's some here now. That. See, again, look. Freemasons long suspected of political conspiracies. The list, however, omitted women's names, yeah? Because the women, you think they're not dangerous. The women are just as fucking ruthless as the men. Remember, these are dames, baronesses, lionesses. You know, the women are just as ruthless as the men, and they're born into it. So don't think they ain't. They are. You know, look at Matahara and all that. They can be ruthless, the women, and they're dangerous. They're more dangerous because you don't look at a woman as being dangerous, but they are. And I don't mean that as a funny, you know, men are dangerous, women are dangerous, just as dangerous, but they're more dangerous because men are more susceptible to be tricked by women, you know, in their wily ways, if you get what I mean. I don't mean that as being modernistic or whatever the fucking word is, you know. But yeah, which is a good thing, really, I suppose, isn't it? I could, well, I'll leave that. You should have read that by now. Here we go again. Look, transparency, gender terrorism, and Masonic conspiracies in Italy. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can. And again, it's going on about the P2 Lodge. I don't know how to do that. I'll leave it like that. Hopefully, you can read that. Go a little bit bigger. Hopefully, that'll help. But you read that, you know, the P2 Lodge in Italy and what they did. And again, they were connected at a particular time to the London lodges. Yeah. Where they were blowing cars up and also, you know, all sorts, you know. And here we go, look. That Masons should reveal their membership again. Yeah. Again, the vote, again, is Masonically fucking, they have the majority numbers. But here we go, look, you know. He got that right, didn't he? Look. The figure of 50% is a measure of the number of Freemasons active inside the police force. Yeah. So when they did a vote, and that their membership of Freemasons is also at 60%. That's why the vote was 60%. I hope I'm reading that right. Anyway. See. The methodology imposed by the government, which is Freemasonry, is flawed in the extreme. You see what I mean? Everything what you're dealing with is to do with Freemasonry. You see what I mean? And you've got no chance of getting any reform or change in anything because the Freemasons own it. You know what I mean? You try getting something through Parliament, that's going to get stalled and delayed and whatever else because Freemasonry don't want you changing. They don't want the fucking change. They want to keep that system they've got where you're the slave and they're the masters. So anything you're trying to put through Parliament, yeah, ain't going to fucking happen. And if it does, it's going to be in their favour, not your favour. And they're going to shut up the loophole before it fucking happened. That's why now you try and have a protest or you talk and they got their police Freemasons have got more powers to arrest you because that's what it's all about. Shutting you lot up so you can't be fucking getting anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Shh. Shush up the profane. They can't have a voice or a say. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, you read that, I hope. See, look, Jack Straw again. The half-baked decision by Home Secretary Jack Straw to limit the revelation of membership to the police and to ask them instead of instructing them. You know what I mean? So I mean, you have to be careful when you're dealing with Freemasons because, again, Jack Straw, he knew, you know, even though he's been asked to ask anyway because they have to do that. Do you know what I mean? And he's a Freemason anyway. You know, and again, when you're at top levels like that, they kill you like that. You know what I mean? Because you get too close, they kill you. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story. That's why they killed Jal Dando. That's why they killed Lady Diana. Do you see what I mean? People like that, they don't like me. You know, they're going to kill me. They've talked about it. You know what I mean? I've got that on tape as a given. You know, but they can't kill me outright now because obviously, you know, people sitting in prison cells and jail cells are going, shit, I'm now going to get, you know, 20 years to life. Do you know what I mean? With no fucking whatever. Sitting on their hand with their heads in their hand, their hands in their head in their hands, thinking shit, and their missus and their wives and kids on the outside, they're going to start chatting like canaries, isn't they? And then they've talked about whether they're going to make me an accident. You know what I mean? That's fact. That's not bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story, my profane friends. You know what I mean? And then again, they talked about putting me away for 40, 30 to 40 months. Do you know what I mean? Because they know in that time I could go to Wayland or any sort of rough jail where the prison officers that are Freemasons again. You know, where's the conflict of interest? For me, it's over everything, isn't it? As soon as I enter that police station, I've got a conflict of interest because every fucker in that police station is a Freemason. So I ain't going to be treated fairly at all. You know what I mean? And then I could go to the court. That's all Freemasonry. I'm not going to be treated fair there. I go to the jail. I'm not going to be treated fair in the jail because they're all fucking Freemasons. The prison staff and some of the prison, obviously, the inmates are in with the Freemasons that are corrupt criminals here, so they can pay anyone they want to get to me. So I'm not safe anyway. Do you see what I mean? So I'm never safe. I'm never, ever, never in my life am I safe. Not a day go by that I'm safe in my life, which is cool in the game, but they ain't neither. Do you know what I mean? Because one day, if I decide to go fuck you, I'm going to, I will go. Do you know what I mean? And no one's going to stop me, but I can't stop them neither. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a case of fucking, like I said, I'm getting into the technical side of things now, but yeah, but I've got, I'm discriminated against. I can't even go see my doctor or go to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? Because they're all fucking Freemasons. So even if I wanted medical treatment, I wouldn't go in a million years to that hospital or to that doctor's. But when I want to go put in a fit sick form or something, well, why ain't you got no medical treatment? Why ain't you taking no drugs for this or that, whatever? Do you know what I mean? That's what they say to me physically. I say, are you serious? Do you know what I mean? As if I'm going to take your drugs that could be tampered with, because I'm turning up for my, the chemist who's a Freemason could be fiddling with my fucking prescriptions or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's how mad it is. Do you know what I mean? The life I lead, the life I lead. I shouldn't be talking now because I'm getting angry again and frustrated. But my story's going to come, and it's not, and it ain't going to be like all fairy tales and fucking good, because the Freemasons, these disgusting Freemasons, know exactly what they've done over the last 30 to 40 years to me, yeah? But anyway, that's another story, yeah? Let's just keep on with these little banker wankers. I mean, the bank anchors wankers, Right, because I'll get a bit, and I shouldn't do. The police who have had free by the homicide squad tell Fulton to keep them open-minded and it can do any of them display. Anyway, let me go to the next one. You know what I mean? I don't know what's happening there. Oh, yeah, look. Police briefing. A senior policeman leads Paul Fulton into the room and asks him to examine the hats. Fulton looks at each one closely. They are traditionally felt hats with a brim sun hat caps. I don't know why I took this. Anyway. Right, the main road from Brent in South Victoria, deserted cars that pulled outside the Masonic Lodge near the end of the town. Under a bright light in front of the hall, known as the Freemasons as Rosebank Lodge, about 20 elderly men, again, see look, 20 elderly men in black suits, starched white shirts, I don't know what. Here we go. Now this is again, look. He had retired a decade earlier as chief executive of the Institute of Arbitrators, where he was known as the meticulous and reliable executive of the old school, more at home with keeping records in school exercise book than computers. You see, they're the ones that run your schools. All right, anyway, I'll let you read that. So, see, they're always look, sat on its campaign committee. They're always involved with committees, school committees, school boards. Do you know what I mean? Anything, it don't matter what it is. Like I went to that meeting the other week with the councillors, yeah? Freemasons. As soon as I started mentioning Freemasons, he's like, pff, and then the whole room attacked me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm trying to help them better their lives. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a Freemason just ticking boxes and giving them placebos. Do you know what I mean? Amazing. I need to go to a town hall meeting or something and get some real, like other people and speak out a bit. You know what I mean? Oh, this is it. Yeah, this is it. Freemason, someone who cares for the world in which we live, who is prepared to practice high moral standards and seek excellence in all he undertakes, or so it seemed. Okay, and this is about a Freemason and a 19-year-old homeless dude. Yeah, you'll have to pause it. I forgot what it was, but the psychiatrist treating him are more than likely Freemasons. You know, he's more than likely a social experiment. That's how bad these Freemasons are with people. You know what I mean? But he seemed, look, Freemasonry exposes high ideals but is obsessed with symbols, ritual, and absolute secrecy. That was paramount to Howard Ambrosia. Yeah. And by the way, this is not the only Freemason I know paying for sex. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, you wives need to watch your men. Mm-mm-mm. I get right into the nitty gritty when I investigate. I'll tell you that, my profane friends. Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do. Again, look. See that? Look. Masonic friends that he was a fucking paedophile. Oh, I shouldn't have swore, sorry. He read out some of the names and numbers on the list, which the list was Freemasons, yeah? Well, blackmailing him or whatever. So anyway, look how many men people attended his funeral. Now, when I die, because of these gang stalking, drug dealing paedophiles, yeah, you know what I mean? And you'll see, because we're going to record it and I'll show you it, because that's part of my, like, death thing. You'll see he got 300 people attend his funeral, yeah. And again, we've had legends who have passed away here, and tons of people turning up at the funerals. You know what I mean? Again, I can't go too much into it, but when they come to my funeral, because of these gang stalkers, no one will be there. Do you know what I mean? Because of the people have made these Freemasons made me a perjured individual. But that's another story anyway. Been buffeted by waves of criticisms for the best part of 300 years. Of course you have. You know what I mean? Anyway, again, look, I'll let you read that. You know what I mean? But this is some. I don't know if it's to do with Gandhi or Gandhi's wife or something like that. I don't know. But it's got Bill, look, Illuminati, Bill Gates of Microsoft. She's having a share of the ownership of Walmart along with Hillary Clinton. Yeah, this is something to do. You can search it up. It's on the Google groups. Yeah, but I noticed that it was coming in. Gandhi's puppet PM questionnaire. Question often arises in the minds of Adam Adami that had what the joint blah blah blah. But again, when I see Parliament give to India and Indians, it has ensured return of Freemason East Indian Company through retail Walmart. See, again, the Freemasons are thick within it again. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously they are Indian. You know, India. Freemasonry is India. Um, but I didn't understand that. But again, oh, sorry, that keeps. I keep forgetting to do that. Sorry if some of the bottom of this is missing, but most of this can be researched and looked up itself on the internet anyway. I didn't know that. But again, it goes to the KGB, P2 Lodge. Do you know what I mean? Again, all that corruption. Do you know what I mean? Sorry if that's up there like that with the thing. I didn't know, but obviously you can research this yourself anyway. You know what I mean? But when I started seeing like the mafia had clear connections with the mafia, you see what I mean? The shark, so that was a member of the propaganda, a secret lodge of Italy Freemason, had clear connections to the mafia. You know what I mean? They ain't clear. They're the mafia are living in within your town and cities. You ain't got to go to it. They're in your towns and cities, and they're all outfitted, and they're all in the syndicate, and they're all in the Masonic lodge. Do you know what I mean? And then again, it go into the Swiss banks. Look, do you know what I mean? Again, look, the initiation into the 33 degree Freemasonry is nothing more and nothing less than revolution in action, ceaselessly waged conspiracy. I just thought, it'd be nice for you guys to read it. How Freemasonry came to India, the answer is the same. It was imposed by colonialist Freemasons, and that's what it's all about. The people that went to America, it doesn't matter whatever land, the people that went there first were always Freemasons, because they wanted to be the ones that put a stake in the ground and go, this is my gold, this is my land, this is my, do you know what I mean? So everyone who was a colonist, regardless of who it was, and pirates, blah, 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 they were all Freemasons. You know what I mean? All of it. So you look, the 2 centuries, 16 to 19, rule of Freemasonic British East Indian Company over India was the most brutal. You see what I mean? Because the Freemasons control everything, no matter what it is. And just because, like I said, Freemasons ain't English, they're German, they're Chinese, they're everyone, everybody, yeah? And they're just one nation of people, yeah, working together, but to keep everyone else under their jackboot. You know what I mean? They don't have a land, they don't have water, they don't have any air. Do you know what I mean? What they rule, but they rule it all. Do you see what I mean? Like America, yeah? They rule America. That America is not America. America is a Masonic nation. You know what I mean? America is a nation of Freemasons. It's a nation run by Freemasonry. It's conquered. America's been conquered by Freemasons. Great Britain, a nation of Freemasons, conquered by Freemasons. Germany, Europe, whatever you want to go, Africa, I've shown you. New Zealand, Australia, nations of Freemasonry, yeah? They own it all, and they haven't fired any shots in their name with a Masonic apron on. Everyone else has done all the warring for them. All the profane that had died during all the wars have done it for Freemasonry, because they've been the dominant force and the Judas goats leading the profane into war every time. You know what I mean? Here we go. Look, Freemason governor generals and viceroys of India during the colonial era. Do you see what I mean? And this is what I'm on about. Every war has to do with Freemasonry, and they've been the Judas goats leading us all the time. You know what I mean? I think I posted that one twice. Sorry. Yeah, you got Lord Chelmsford. Look, was elected the Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of New South Wales, which position he occupied for 3 years. You see what I mean? And that's what it's all about. The lords, the dukes and the earls, yeah? The people with wealth and money, the Knights Templars that stole all the land, yeah? That own Norfolk, Suffolk, and all the different states and all the rest of it. They're all Masonic wars, yeah? And all the wars were all Masonic Lodge wars, do you know what I mean? Lord Mountbatten, again, was a Freemason. Again, another paedophile that slept with all sorts of doodies. You know what I mean? And he disappeared. You know what I mean? But you can go through it. Hopefully you can pause that and then just read these. I'm going to read it all through, you know what I mean? Yeah, Lord Dalhousie, yeah? Again, from Scotland, yeah? He was a Scottish Freemason, but he would have been a laird or whatever, an own part of Scotland, do you know what I mean? And that's all it is, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. He became Governor General of India and Governor of Bengal in the 12th century came, and the chaos became. He started Anglo-Sikh War and laid the foundation of the Indian Rebellion. See, again, free Masonic wars, and that war there was to dominate India, you know what I mean? And again, if you search India up, yeah, you'll look for their lodges. Their lodges are all over India and they control it now. Do you see what I mean? They own India. Freemasons own India. They own everything. But they didn't war as Freemasons. They war as the British Army. Do you know what I mean? Behind, and manipulated our armies to fight whoever and whatever to make them the power behind whatever they were fighting. Do you see what I mean? They're behind it all. Crazy shit, man. Oh yeah, and Charles Cornwallis. I've got him coming up in a few videos. Charles Wallace, Cornwally. You know what I mean? The lodge of Dutch, French, Ireland and Scottish Freemasons were all erected in various parts of India by colonialist Freemasons between 1700 and 1900. See what I mean? See, that Freemasonry was imposed on the world forcibly through violence, wars and revolutions. Freemasonry are the terrorists, murderers who are greedy, selfish, racist capitalists, profit, power and exploitation is what they want. They use any means possible to acquire wealth and power. And there it is at the bottom of this page. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what Freemasonry is all about. And once you wake up to it, that's like, fucking hell. You know, my enemy, yeah, the Freemasons within this town, yeah, that have made me a perjured individual, yeah, are dangerous people. Do you know what I mean? But they'll say, oh, well, why aren't you dead now? Well, you can't kill someone who's got so much evidence that there would be a murder inquiry put on their lodge, and obviously there'd be people up on their roof with banners, you know, and a lot of other things like the little rapists, you know, what were that, you know, nonsense and, you know, all of that crap round here would come out, you know what I mean? And they wouldn't know where to put their faces with the shame of it all. You know, but again, like I said, but not everyone in your towns and cities is good. Do you know what I mean? No one's good. You know, there's evil amongst you. Yeah, and like I said, there's Jimmy Saviles and fucking Epstein's living right on your doorsteps. You don't need to look at Washington and 10 Downing Street or Westminster because they're all within your town and cities. Because Freemasonry is run by sadistic pedos. Do you know what I mean? Gang stalkers and drug dealers. You know what I mean? Anyway, you'll have to read this yourself. Like I said, you know, Freemason politicians that implant Freemason politicians who will then make laws and policies that would allow foreign industries and banks to enter those countries and to exploit the economic and mineral wealth. And then the money and profits are stashed in the banks of France, Europe, USA, UK, etc. You see what I mean? These are the facts. This is what Freemasonry does. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, you can research this yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's all there. They're behind all wars. We fight it though. We fight their wars. You know, they Judas goat us, making us follow them into war. We look at them as heroes, but they don't stand there in their Masonic aprons. They stand there in their, like, you know, their SS uniforms and their, you know, or you know, whoever it is, you know, Rommel or. I'm trying to think of other people. You know, all them people that we respect and look up to. They're all Freemasons, do you know what I mean? Working for the lodge, but they're controlling that, you know, the many by being the few. You know what I mean? So long as they get the end result and they win the war, and it don't matter which side win, whether it was Germany or British, the Freemasons would have won the war. I think Hitler had the right idea and he knew what was going on and he was trying to stop it. Do you know what I mean? But I can't, you know, like I said, I don't know nothing about it, so I can't quote on it, you know. But that's why, you know, partly why he persecuted the Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? You know, well, I say persecute, I'm using their word. When he was warring with the Freemasons, do you know what I mean? He was trying to stop other certain lodges doing what they're doing today, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. So, you know, I just know today they rule and run every country. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. What do I know? I'm just profane, baby, profane. For other people to work out, I just put the shit in the brain. You know what I mean? I connect the dots, and hopefully someone clicks on it and go, yeah, and then they have the, you know, the sense to research their towns instead of looking at chemtrails across the sky that you can't do nothing about. Do you know what I mean? Because if you want to look for the corruption, the Epsteins and the Saviles within your town, then you need to start following drugs. Yeah, just follow the drugs, see where it leads. Go straight to the Masonic Lodge. Well, that started at the pubs first. You go to the pubs and the clubs. Do you know what I mean? Then from there it goes to the thingy. But look at this. Look, Freemasons in New Zealand. Look, There's your crest there, look, see, because you're dealing with lords, dukes and earls, you know what I mean? And this is the heraldry of it all. And this explains the coats of arms, yeah? For New Zealand, I'll leave that there for a little while. My profane friends. Again, you've got that little thing there, but put it there. Maybe that might be better if I put it there. Explanation of the coat of arms, and I'll put that thing up there. And pause that as you see fit. I'll bring this down to here, like that. I don't know how, I can't get rid of that as part of it. Sorry for some of this you can't read. Put that there, and I'll put this back up here. But like I said, you can pause this as you need to see fit to thingy, and that is it for that. So pause it, and then here we go. Look, the perfect Masonic club, the women, the lethal women. Theresa May and Amber Rudd suppressed Westminster child abuse documents for national security. Whose security? No, it's for their security, the Freemasons, because they would have got sussed. You know what I mean? They know it. And that's what they do. They make suppression orders. You know what I mean? Because if they don't suppress the fucking truth and the facts, yeah, they know their time is over. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to be hanged. You know what I mean? Theresa May is just the same as Hillary Clinton. Do you know what I mean? It's no different between any of them. And then we go here, look, mystery of missing dossiers on VIP child abusers in Westminster pilot paedophile, because Westminster are the Freemasons, so they get the fucking form. What does it take? Yeah, I've now got I can't show you. I'll try. I've got a form in my hand now. Yeah, it comes across my desk. I'm a fucking chief inspector, whatever. I'm now going to burn that, right? What's going to happen to me? First of all, you got to prove where the document went. There's another fucking 100 people, Freemasons in here, that got to say, well, it ain't me, it went in here. Do you know what I mean? And point fingers at everyone and confuse the issue. Yeah. So then 50 Freemasons, even if it was 10, just pointing, who you're going to blame to say, well, what we're going to do? Well, you'll have to resign, but that don't matter. You'll still get your pension, and then you'll still be in the lodge. We'll just get you another job doing something else. And then we'll replace you with another Freemason, and hey ho, the Masonic system of corruption carries on. Do you see what I mean? And that's what they do. And that's why, that's the last video, that's the last page, sorry. But this is why they, it don't matter. All the dossiers can miss all day long. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Do you know why? Because you're profane. Do you see what I mean? And they know that. They're the army. They're the gang. They're the overlords. You are a fucking nothing. And I'm sorry to swear again, but you ain't going to do nothing. What are you going to do? They've done away with the dossier. What are you going to do? Nothing. They brought 9/11 down. What did you do? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because they're the power. Do you see what I mean? They killed JFK. What did you do? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because they made enough sure confusion that it was Fidel Castro, it was the Cubans, it was this, it was that, you know what I mean? It was the magic bullet. There was one shooter, there's 10 shooters, you know what I mean? Even though the whole security guard around JFK were all Freemasons, like they are around the people around 10 Down Street and around the people in the White House, do you know what I mean? All Freemasons, do you know what I mean? But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? They suppressed Westminster child abuse documents for national security reasons. What are you going to do? You're going to do nothing, because you can't get near these people, because they bring in the guards. Do you see what I mean? And they bring in the police. They're Masonic brothers. Do you see what I mean? Nothing you can do. I'll leave it there, my profane friends. Thanks for listening. I love you all anyway. But there you go. What can you do? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do against these people, ever. How about this? Look, what are you going to do? That's what you're going to do. You're going to let the adults shush up the kids, the next generation. You know what I mean? You're going to be shushing. That's all you're going to do. Shush. Look, Masonic Lodge number 762. That's their shush god. Look, the shush. They shush up you, the profane. See? 33 and beyond. We will shush up any corruption and criminal activity that the Freemasons commit. You know what I mean? On silence, a Masonic proficiency paper. Shh. You will shush. And here it is. You can look this up anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I ain't going to go into it because it's there. But there she is, look. You know what I mean? See the silence? And I've shown you how many times they do the shush anyway. Yeah? There he is, look. The Masonic. Savile's one of Savile's mates. Shh. They do this to you all the time. And it doesn't matter how far back in history you go, they're all at it. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, baby. Shh. Shh. That's in the Masonic Lodge, that statue, by the way. Shh. That's in Masonic Lodge as well, that statue. You know what I mean? If you look at the top, look, you can see the Union Jack configuration of the square and compass and the point within the square, look. You know what I mean? And there's your Freemason brother, look. Hidden hand behind the Shhh. See? 33 stars on each colour for 33 degrees. And then you can see the square at the bottom there, look, on his jaw. Oh, there she is, look. You've got a bit of a closer picture of her. Notice on the altar, on the left side, you've got the calm piss. See what I mean? Amazing, isn't it? And here it is there, look, the Shhh. See? Start with the Shhh, look, at the top. Wonder if I can scroll that in. Oh, you can, look. Hey, babies. So there you go, look. Move that down. There he is, the Master of the Lodge. Shh. Like I said, that's their Shhh god. Yeah? It's so important to Freemasonry, the Shhh. That's the first command they learn in the Lodge. Shh. Silence and secrecy. See? That's their signage, you see. You know what I mean? But you wouldn't know that. Do you know why? Because you're profane, my profane friends. You're profane, and your profane will be always. Do you know what I mean? There you go. So that's it. I don't know whether to show you that or not. Yeah, yeah, look, this is how many times you see it here. Look, see this is I forgot what it's bloody called now. But here she is, look. See, notice the ringlet? They show that on the screen, look, and it shows the square and compass. She was actually going to the drug lord. Who was that drug lord? The one, Pablo Escobar, or one of them anyway. And she met him. I forgot her name now. Again, look, see the Shhh, look. See? What's this? Oh, yeah, this is the Masonic. This is the Rapid Shhh. I think, this one. Let's see if you do it. Get ready. See it? Boom. Did you see that Shhh? That's how fast that is, that Shhh, look. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, yeah, here he is again, look. See, everywhere. This is what they do put on the telly. I don't know what I'm doing here, actually. Wait there. Let me go back to that. That Shhh was so rapid. Look, see? Shh. They're doing it to you on the telly all the time. There's her ring again. See, look. There's a square and calm piss. What's this one again? Yeah, see that? Look, he's now doing it. That's a Freemason, that is. Look, when he does that with the two collars, that was a Freemason move. These are all Freemason moves, these are. I've got hundreds of videos like this, hundreds and hundreds, where they're doing it on the screen all the time. See that move, look? Do you see the Freemasonic move there? Crazy stuff. See if I show you again, look. See it? Freemason move, just for the telly. What's this? Again, look, this is some from season 1. Look at the square and compass. I'm turning the bloody phone thing. You see it? See the square and compass in it, though, look. See? He's now standing on the square and compass, look. See? That's the TV for you. Don't know what that is. See the sign of it, look? Hundreds of films I've got. Look, see it, look? I've shown you what that means, the pyramid across the belly. You know what I mean? Look. It's all in your games, baby. It's on the badge there, look. See? Here we go again, look. Their aliens are doing it there. See? The signs are there all the time. They never stop. This is Fortnite, look. See the Masonic cube on his face, look? And the cross, the X, which is the Twitter move. Again, they can't help themselves. You see that? Great, isn't it? Wonderbar. That's all Masonic, you know, their games. Look at the Masonic apron he's wearing. See it? Wearing a black Masonic apron. See? They can't help themselves. There it is, look. See? Square and calm piss. I mean, that's what it was. Fate of the Wicks saga, that was. Oh, that's it. That's all there was for that one. But that's how it goes, you know what I mean? Again, look, watch these rapid Shhhs. Look, I've shown these before anyway, but watch this. Did this in my last video, then I'm going to end this because I love you all. All right, you should go watch the Shhh. Bang, see it? Oh, let me move that away. Watch the alien in the background. Watch him. The alien in the background. There's something not right about him. I think he's a real alien. That in that background, yeah. I think that's a real alien, and he's also in another clip, right? Watch him. Look, see it? I think he's a real alien. I do. In Doctor Who, go to my forum and look up Doctor Masonic Who, and you see the symbolism in that program is absolutely astronomical. But you'll see if you download some of the videos I've put in there of the aliens doing Masonic symbolism, it's just unreal, man. And I'm sure they're real as well. I don't know. What do I know? You know what I mean? That's for you to decide. Again, what's the Masonic shush here? Look. Shh. Where is it? Because they're telling you all the time. You know what I mean? Shush, 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 shush. Hurry up. When the fucking hell's the shush? Get ready as fast. That's me talking. That's why it comes slow. Here we go. Watch shush. Shh. See? Shh. I don't know what the next one is. What's this one? I think too often think the profane is something to be put. This is a Freemason talking here. I think we all too often think the profane as something to be put aside from Freemasonry. See what I mean? Because we're separate. They don't think as us as anything. But I feel that Freemasonry is actually the interface between sacred ideas and the profane world. See what I mean? The profane world. They're not in our world. They're not a part of our world. You see what I mean? They look at us as something completely different. We're the North. We're in the North, the uninitiated, and they're trained from the day they fucking join this institution, and they'll never treat you the same ever. We're not a Masonic monastic order. We exist to create that interface. What interface? Do you see what I mean? How you interpret the lessons of the degrees and how you feel that instructional connection between the sacred and the profane is your concern. You see what I mean? That's how they talk about you. You're a fucking nobody because you're profane. You know what I mean? And there you go. And you can go on all day. Like I said, the way they talk about us gives you an exact idea of what they're all about. You know what I mean? Look. The answer is how Freemasonry sees itself, and as a direct result, how it view the non-Masons, yeah? And how do they view the non-Masons? Well, in their books, they called us the common people, vulgar common people. They've called us profane as a swear word for fucking centuries. You know what I mean? Anyway, in this first place, the Masonic Lodge is considered a holy place in Freemasonry, but they don't deal with religion. It is patterned after King Solomon's temple, which was built as a dwelling place for God on earth. See? So how many gods do you think on earth are residing within your town and cities? Because they are your gods, and you will obey them gods. You know what I mean? They're your gods. You're beneath them. You're not even in the temple. So why would they listen to you? You know what I mean? A profane person, a vulgar, hated, profane person in the North. You see what I mean? And again, you can go on and on, but I'll let you read that. You know what I mean? Like I said, they talk about, go to their forums and the way they talk about you. You know what I mean? And here we go, look. With that firmly in mind, one can see how Masons view non-Masons in such a negative way. You see what I mean? Quite simply, they are outside the pale and not worthy of being admitted into the sacred spaces in the Masonic Lodge. But the negative view of non-Masons is not limited to describing them as Albert Mackay indicates. The lodge is then, at the time of the reception, when they enter the print, a symbol of the world. See, the lodge is their world. Yeah, everything without is fucking free games, you know what I mean? And the initiating is a type of new life upon which the candidate is about to enter, the life within the lodge. And that's all that matters. Everything out the lodge, fucking nothing. There he stands without our portals. There he stands without our portals and the threshold of this new Masonic life, in darkness, helplessness and ignorance. See what I mean? We're ignorant, having been wandered amid the errors and covered. Yeah, Masons prefer to pass this off by Cartwright as a personal antidote and not a general statement. And that's it. You know what I mean? That's all I've got on the profane. But again, like I said, they don't look at us as profane people. Do you know what I mean? We're just a nobody. Again, this is what's this? This is the police in it. Yeah, I've already uploaded this. That's a Masonic ritual. You know what I mean? And this is some of the Freemason masks they use within the lodge. Yeah, that see they dress up again. Look at the goats, what they ride. You know what I mean? And I mean literally ride, riding a goat. Look, but these are all masks that are what Freemasons use. You know what I mean? Look. Buy this. This is the Moulin Rouge. Look up the Moulin Bros, yeah, and Co. That show you the hats and the masks they wear within the lodge. You see, crazy. Look, imagine that coming at you. Oh, baby, that's actually Samson mask. That one. That's Samson. I can't remember who that is, but these are all true masks. What they have in the lodge. You know what I mean? Look, crazy, isn't it? And skeletons, of course. They're the only people in the world that can have real skeletons where we're not allowed to have them. You try and get a skeleton, yeah, of a real person or just a skull, you'd be arrested. But Freemasons, all right, look at these masks. This is what they use within the lodge. You know what I mean? That's Abraham. No, I don't know who that is. I forgot who that is now. But they're the sort of, the biblical people. This is a costume. You know what I mean? Look at that. See, but they use these masks in the lodge to explain, when they're doing ritual. A lot of people don't know that. Look at that one, creepy as hell. There you go. That's Samson. That one. I think this one's Samson, and the other one was Goliath, maybe something like that. One's Samson, one's Goliath. You know what I mean? But they wear these masks. One is King Herod as well, I think. Because they play the kings and all that sort of stuff. Skull and Bones. Look, but they wear these masks. Do you know what I mean? They're not. Notice the pedo swirl on his friggin' head. You know what I mean? But they wear these masks within the lodge. Look it up, research it. Tell you themselves. And there's one there. Look, see? That's a Shriner. Look. See? Look at him. Oh, he's a funny old bugger with his Shriner, ain't he? Again, like I said, this is either Samson or King Herod or Goliath or something. You know what I mean? Again, always these coffins and all that, and skeletons. But these are the masks they wear within the lodge when they're doing this. This pops up. This does to scare them. They're taking like a thingy. Some splat them in the face with shit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But these are all scare tactics. Like with their hazing rituals. Do you know what I mean? Look it up. Same as this one here. Do you know what I mean? Imagine having to sit in a room with this all night in the reflection room, chamber of reflections. You know what I mean? So there you go, my profane friends. See? And there's the dagger in the skull. Look. Real skull, And they have these silly ones like this, look like Prince Charles. You know what I mean? Yep, real skeletons in the lodge, my profane friends. Look at that one, see? That's the Shriner on the left, but I can't remember who they are. Like I said, one's Goliath, one's Samson. Do you know what I mean? But they wear these masks in ritual, and these type of masks as well. You know what I mean? And here they go. Look, see, that's a hazing ritual. That is, they wear then you've got two masons in the back, look, and it squirts water on him. The initiate, notice he's blindfolded. Look, see that? Look, they put them on these machines to embarrass them and things like that. See, to embarrass them. Oh, that was the last one anyway. But there you go, my profane friends. Do you know what I mean? What can I say? I don't even know if I've uploaded some of these, but they're just more videos of what I've got. You know what I mean? Then we've got Savile. What are you going to do? Nothing. You know what I mean? Shh. I shouldn't have shown you that. You know what I mean? There you go. What can I say? What are you going to do about it? You're going to do nothing because you've got nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah, he leaves the tribute. Look, Henry Savile's dead. Prince Charles leaves the tributes to TV legends. Can you see it? Did you see it? Her belt buckle, look. You see what I mean? Because they're all the day, Again, Savile was their best friend. So was the Pope, look. Money, Masons, and the occultism in the decline of the Catholic Church. And look at the Knights Templar crosses on his robes, you know what I mean? You can go on and on and on. To Her Majesty and the Craft, salutations from the US brothers. You see what I mean? USA, England, best of friends. You know what I mean? Nova Scotia, go God save the Queen. You see what I mean? No matter where you're from, this is who they protect. You know what I mean? Grand Lodge of Ireland, look. See? So even when even they were even involved in the war in Ireland, you know what I mean, and shit like that. God knows what they were doing there. Do you know what I mean? The Freemasons, to keep that war going on for so long. But that's what they do. They played both sides of the war, and they keep wars going on and the animosity and everything. But they're actually the ones involved in it and keeping that going. Do you know what I mean? They love it. Queen and the Craftlet. Do you know what I mean? And this is the United Grand Lodge of England, you see. But it don't matter where they come from. You know, you can see most of these are from, like other countries. Queen and her craft, you see, because that's what they look after. They look after the kings, the queens, the lords, the dukes, the earls. Do you know what I mean? And for doing that, they're paid well. Do you know what I mean? English brethren, God save the Queen. You see what I mean? It don't matter where you're from. They're all brothers. They're all brothers. Look, God save the Queen from Brazil. You see what I mean? Brothers. They're all working together. You know what I mean? His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent. And again, you got your, well, I didn't need to explain that, I don't think. 666. Look, I didn't put that there. There it is, look. You know what I mean? 666. That's what the square and compass represents. 666, 232. There's Savile with his best mate. Biggest war criminal ever. What are you going to do? You're going to do nothing. Do you know why? Because he's a Freemason and you're a profane person. You're not going to touch him, that MP, Prime Minister there, because he's the same as the one on his right. You know what I mean? And untouchable. And it will be shushed up. Shit, that's a pig and thing. I better not. But there you go, You can go on and on and on, Here's the Knights Templars here, look. This is who they look after and who they protect, look. They're all wearing the Knights Templar stuff, look. See, look. That's what you're looking after. And all they'd done is ride around when they were knights and kings and queens or whatever. And their brothers and sisters have gone around on the knights' horses, killed the peasants and took all the land. You know what I mean? There we go, look. Savile with his best mates. So the silence fixed it for Jim, and that's the trouble. Your silence will rule everything, because no one can shout out or say anything against Freemasonry ever. There's Andrew and what's his name now? I can't remember his name again. Oh yeah, Savile. See what I mean? There's a Masonic handshake. Look, beautiful the way she does that. You know what I mean? Look at that handshake. Look, they're all Freemasons, each and every one of them. You know what I mean? And her old man in the background. Again, look, Masonic handshake, look, on the first knuckle. Know exactly what they're doing, these people. Savile's funeral, look at all them Freemasons, look. Look at all them white, but you talk to Freemasons, they ain't Freemasons, they're not Freemasons. You know what I mean? Do I go on? Go a little bit more. You know what I mean? See, look at that, look at that one, look. Look at that. Can you see you can't get better than that handshake, can you? From the Queen. Pure Masonic, my friends, pure Masonic. 20 times the Bible tells you when to keep your mouth shut. You see what I mean? In the heat of anger, you should keep your mouth shut. When you don't have all the facts, when you haven't verified a story, you know what I mean? All stuff that keeps you shush. In pizza, we trust. Of course you do. You know what I mean, here we go. Look, the king, look, going into the Masonic Lodge. His Royal Highness. You know what I mean? Of course, there's no war on paedophilia, because they are the paedophiles, the ones you're warned against. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shh. You will be quiet. Shh. I should have shown you my fucking Pope video where he's wearing a mask. Again, look. Duke of Kent, KG, Grand Master, Freemason of the Grand Lodge of England. Please convey my thanks to all the Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England that protect me and my family, and everyone else who's a Lord, Duke and Earl. You know what I mean? And again, we'll get some more, more shush and look. Shh. 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 If you know who these people are, of course. Shh. You know what I mean? Crazy, isn't it? And there's another Prime Minister, another Freemason. If you search up Gordon Brown, Lyons poor handshake, you'll see him do it, look. They're all shushing, look. Shh. You know what I mean? All best friends, you know what I mean? It's videos like this what will get you killed, though. You know what I mean? Because they don't want the truth, you know? Look at him. Fucking hell. Well in with the Cray twins, that man. Well in with the Cray twins. Yeah, we are waking up and we do know the truth. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 33 degree, look. They know, baby. I never noticed that before. What's that? Bloody spiders. I think I put that. Oh, baby. But again, look, as you can see, look at the grip. It's Masonically gripped. They own the army. They own everything. Know what I mean? Anyway, number 10 down the street. Prince Philip at a Nazi funeral. Shh, keep that quiet. Because again, like I said, they're all Nazis. They're all Germans and they're all best of friends. Do you know what I mean? Here they are saluting. Shit, I've gone a bit too much with this, I think. Esther Ranson, another shh merchant, knew what was going on, but was always advocate for the fucking, you know. I mean, look at it. Do you know what I mean? It's not a religion, is it? But there they are, the priests, look. The all seeing eye and the altar and everything else. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah, and there's Savile with him and all. Here's Savile, dragging his young fan up the stairs to visit his flat, look. And there you go. We ain't got statues like this for nothing, the Freemasons, have they? They're honouring themselves, you know. But anyway, there you go. And I can go on and on again. Again, Savile with another Prime Minister. Look at that poor little girl at the front with her hands on her ears, though. She didn't look too chuffed, did she? But there you go. Oh, still going on, babies. Well, I'll go through these quick, because I want to end this video. I go on and on, and I'm more than likely going to get assassinated. There he is preaching in the pulpit, that your Savile mate. Here he is with another Prime Minister. That's why it's shushed up. Because all the criminals, yeah, were well in with these people. Do you know what I mean? They're blackmailing. Here he is with his police friends, look. All the police, Masonic policemen, all shushing up, look. All Freemasons. Freemasons. You know what I mean? They're surrounded and protected by Freemasons. He was a Freemason. That's why it got shushed up. Pope Francis, Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons in the Philippines, yeah? See? Pope Francis, mercy of compassion. And there we go. End of. That is the finish. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this journey, what I just took with you. And I love you all, especially if you're profane. If you're a Freemason, well, you know my view on you guys. Oh, have a great day.